It's the east.
Yeah, it's the east that way. You read it too? You read?
However.
Yeah, you read. Go ahead. Make sure everybody in the frame. All right, everybody come in together a little more. There we go. Perfect. We live.
Good. Okay, first and foremost, we're going to face the east and give all glory and praises to Yahweh.
Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakadash.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahushua.
Barak to Yahushua.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahushua.
Barak to Yahushua.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahweh.
Barak to Yahushua.
Barak to Yahushua.
All glory and praises be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. The honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to hopeful elect Christian word troops in the city. All right, back out here once again, GMS Los Angeles. Back out here in the county of LA, in the Sherman Oaks area, once again to prophesy the downfall of this wicked society. You know, and what we're gonna go into is for the sincere brothers, men that follow after Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, is continue to remain upon your watch, man. Okay? Because that's our job. Our job is to watch for what? The signs. Okay, which are prophesied in the Bible, man. Okay? Because all these things that are transpiring the earth right now, okay, all these current events, you know, a lot of war is in the news, man. You know, a lot of you got all those uproars of these other nations that are taking place that the scriptures that our Lord Yahushua told us to look for, man. And we're witnessing these things occur. That's how we know that we're in the latter times. We're in the times that the Lord is going to make his return. Okay? And that's the mindset we're supposed to be in, man. We're not supposed to be in the mindset of trying to build here. Okay, we're not supposed to be in the mindset of partying and bullshit, man. This is the time of focus, paying attention, being circumspect, knowing what times that you're in, man. Okay, and moving accordingly, man. Being spiritual, you know, staying locked in the spirit, man. Okay? So we're gonna go right into it, and we pray that this be edifying, man. All right, so yeah, start with that real quick.
This is Isaiah 62 and verse 6. It says, I have set my watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Right, which, you know, in the ancient times, you would have a watchman upon a tower, okay, the watch for the enemy, okay, because cities used to have walls, man. You had the watchman on top of the watchtower to watch for any enemies, man. So just case in point, like that movie Troy, okay, in the scene when Troy is about to be invaded, okay, the watchman, he had to blow the trumpet, you know, to warn the people, to prepare the people for battle. And that's what we're doing spiritually, okay, because we're not actually on the tower with an actual horn in our hands. This is spiritually speaking, us coming out here prophesying, speaking the words out of this book, warning you the evil that's to come. The Lord's getting ready to bring on this society, okay? Go ahead.
It says, verse 7, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Right, we're supposed to not give the Lord any rest, man. I mean, you gotta be diligent, man. You gotta constantly be out here. You gotta constantly be blowing that trumpet, man. Okay, constantly warning the people. Okay, and that's what we do through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, starting with our apostles and elders on down, man. You know, the Great Millstone is known for diligence, man. Okay, and apostles and elders, they've been in this thing for decades, man. And they still laying that and showing forth the example, man. Okay, because you look at these other leaders in these other camps, you know, they settled on their leads, man. You know, a lot of they're comfortable here, man. Okay, and that's why you don't see that same diligence. You don't see that same fire. Okay, because even us, you know, that's younger, you know, we can clearly see that we in these times, man. You know, when you watch certain you know, news, you see what's going on in the earth right now. You see the vibration of the times that we're in. You see the spirit on these people out here. You know something's getting ready to go down. Okay. You know, but if you in La La Land, you know, you caught up in all this shit in the world, you know, that's why I was gonna say, a lot of y'all gonna get caught off guard. It's gonna be like a thief in the night until the day of the Lord. Okay, because you're not what's the word I'm looking for? You're not circumspect but you're not alert, man.
Right.
Okay, you're not aware of what's going on.
First thought they're not awakened.
Right.
That's why the scripture only said, now is the high time to awake out of sleep.
That's right.
Because it's imperative to be awakened out of this dead state, the covering that's been covering the whole earth in order to see the salvation ahead.
Right.
And how child is coming.
Yep.
But the different thing, he can come at deep in the night. If you're not awake and aware like your brother did, then you can be caught in that, oh shit, he came back.
Right.
You know, as opposed to you awake and you know he's coming back
Yep.
by the prophecy that being fulfilled.
Right.
And like in that movie, Don't Look Up, the whole time the people distracted, and here is a fucking fireball coming down, and people in their phone,
Yep.
looking to the media, looking to the news,
Yep.
and the people in the news wasn't telling them what was going on.
Yep.
So it was a total distraction. And that's how
right.
the Lord set it up, so you people to be judged.
That's
all
right, bro.
He don't want the majority of our people to come to repentance.
Right.
All right. He wants y'all to suffer in that judgment.
Right, because these same devices that distract the people, you know, that this same device, you can find the truth. You know, but the Lord, like you said, the brothers going into, these people have, majority of these people, the Lord has blinded. Okay, He has closed their eyes, okay, their spiritual eyes. Okay, because you hear us, you see us out here, you hear us, you know, you hear our voices, okay, you see us out here with the sign, see us out here with Bibles, but you can't understand. The Lord didn't give you that spirit to understand or perceive what's going on. Okay? Right? Yep.
This is Matthew 24, starting at verse 37. It says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be."
That's right. Okay? The days of Noah. People eating, drinking, giving into marriage. That's what's going on. Bread and serpents. You know, everybody caught up in the NBA playoffs. Okay, they caught up in, you know, wherever it is that's going on in music, you know, wherever thing that, you know, people are into, that's what their world is. That's all they, what the, everything that revolves in their life, it goes on about all this bread and serpents, man. You know, but see, that's the Lord got them. That's their life, okay? But those of us, brother, of course, you know, brothers may watch certain sporting events and whatnot, but we not engulfed into this place, man. Okay, we not engulfed to the point where we don't know what the hell is going on, man.
Yeah.
Okay, we're watching, man. Okay, go ahead.
It says, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking,
Yep.
marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark."
Right, that spirit of complacency. You know, because that's pretty much the overall attitude here, man. You know, when people, especially when people come from other nations and come into America, they come in here to you know, to enjoy the pleasures of the flesh here, man. Okay, because there's no shortage of entertainment. Okay, you got the sports, you got the music, you got the movies. Okay, you got all these different arenas, stadiums where they have concerts. Okay, festivals. You got all these restaurants, five-star restaurants, hotels. You know, everything is all geared toward the flesh.
Yeah. It's like one big ass music part,
Right.
but it's like a dark side to it that
Right.
people don't realize it. Especially with people that not from America, and they think it's a gold, like it's a golden city.
Right.
And like how they like show you the news, like LA, they show you like the west of downtown by the Staples Center.
Yep.
All right, by the 110 interchange.
Right.
But they ain't gonna go south of the 10 freeway.
Right.
All right.
Right.
They need to show you that little small snippet.
Right.
Because why? It's a dark area. Almost all the corner of America is dark area. Dark area, dark street. And that's
Right.
the Charlie battle of death right there, man.
That's right, bro. That's
Even
right.
even the spot that's out in the open is still part of that.
Right.
You know?
Right. They only show those parts in the area to demonize our people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because they'll make movies of the hood in these cities. You know, they show Jake in these neighborhoods and whatnot, how they live, but it's all to paint a bad light. Even though we understand that a lot of our people are wicked, a lot of niggas out there are actually doing these things, but we understand there's an agenda behind that.
Yeah.
You know, there's a sinister agenda behind all these movies, this music, because at the end of the day, Jake is not, we're not in power. You know, we don't control what goes on the air. You know, we don't control what goes on in the media. Okay, that's all this damn devil, man.
Right. Even though ignorant people will think, oh, well, look at Tyler Perry, and Curtis Jackson and Spike Lee. But like what said, what type of content are they putting out there?
Right.
It's still has to be approved by the advertisers.
Right.
They the one that control the entertainment movie industry.
Right.
So if they're making anything that's a slightest way positive or uplifting for these people right here,
right.
It's a logo, man.
Right.
That's why everything, like, didn't know what he had with a Grammy to be a crooked ass cop.
Right. Right. Right.
But he could have been got that Grammy playing Mountain Man.
Right. Right.
Playing Glory.
Yep.
All these great movies that they had playing they just gotta wait till he's a crooked ass cop.
Right. Right.
Same thing, Halle Berry. Gotta wait till they got fucked by Billy Bob Thornton to get a Grammy.
Right. Exactly. You know, and they basically telling you in those films, you gotta get with the program. You know what I'm saying? Because they got, like the brother said, at the end of the day, they got to green light that shit, man. Okay, so if you are a rapper, you want to, you know, let's say Jake want to rap about the script, Lord being a so-called black man in the scriptures, they're not going to play that on the radio, man. Okay? They're not going to allow you to push that vibration through the airwaves, you know? But ultimately, the Lord didn't set up these rappers like that. You know, that's why I said they had their lot. You know, it's really the prophets. You know, the Lord put the spirit on his servants to do that, man. To bring out the truth, okay? Because the celebrities can only say so much, man. You know, because you gotta remember, a lot of these motherfuckers are inside. A lot of these motherfuckers are sellouts, man. Okay? And Esau said, a lot of them are agents. Right. But you got agents among these different groups, man, even among us. All right?
Yeah, one of them niggas just got pardoned by the president. I forget that nigga's name.
Larry Hoover?
No, I'm talking about one of them rappers. He got pardoned by the president just recently. I forget his name.
Yep. That's what that dude Diddy. He's trying to get a pardon from Trump.
Yeah, Trump said, I'll look at all the facts. And
right. You have more on that?
This is the last verse. Verse 39, it says, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right. And that was by water. This time it's gonna be by fire, man. Okay? And that's what we out here to let you people know. Okay? All this shit that you've been doing, they all, especially the so-called white man Esau, okay, really referring to the higher ups, all the evil they've been perpetuating throughout this earth, you're gonna have to answer for that, man. That's a consequences to all the things that you've done. Okay? You've done a lot of great evil in this earth, man. You've destroyed this earth, you defiled this earth, okay? You defiled the Lord's people, okay? You got everything out of whack, man. Everything's out of order under your rulership, man. Okay? Now we in the time that the Lord, because you know, the Lord is setting up his men that just like when they do Jake and Court. They bring out Jake, rap sheet. They villainize Jake. They make Jake seem like he's the worst motherfucker that ever walked this planet Earth. Okay? That's what we doing to you. We bring out all the offenses. These are all the charges. Okay? And pretty soon, the Lord is going to return, and he's going to give you your judgment, man. He's going to render you your judgment. Okay? Go ahead.
That was it on there. That was NBA Youngboy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But see, that goes to show you too, like these niggas that, you know, these rappers, like for example, that nigga Tupac. What nigga you hear about shooting a police officer and getting off like that?
Right.
You know, average J can't do. You can't. They be shooting niggas that don't even have guns.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jake gets shot for having a phone in his hand.
Yep.
You know, that nigga got a gun. You know. But see, that's that like going back earlier, like I said, with these movies, these hip hop videos, they paint that stigma, thinking every time you see a so-called black man, especially a young so-called black man, automatically you don't think he's a criminal. Like I was talking to the brother earlier on the way up here, like when you go to certain neighborhoods, like main Edomite neighborhoods, they got the neighborhood watch sign.
Yep.
And the sign that the person is black. You know, they got the black hat, black face. So basically, it's subconscious when they see a black, so-called black person, they don't be thinking, oh, that's a criminal.
Yeah, report him immediately.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing in this neighborhood?
Right.
You can't afford to be basically it's like you can't afford to be in the neighborhood.
Right.
That's why you see less patrol in those type of neighborhoods and more patrol in Jake neighborhoods.
Right.
Why? Because they're not expecting crime and stuff like that, because that's not a crime ridden neighborhood.
Yep.
As opposed to Jake neighborhood. So that's why it's all set up, man.
Yeah.
And they tell on their own. That's why they got that saying, see something, say something. You know, Esau, they'll tell on you.
Yeah.
They ain't about that shit. They'll call the cops on you. And I see somebody suspicious and they'll call.
And they're lonely as fuck too. They be all up in your business. It's called Amos 9 and 4. And though they go into captivity before their enemy, this will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good.
That's right. And that's what the Lord is getting, that's what he's doing with Babylon. Okay, he's setting his eyes towards it. He already got his eyes on this place, but when all hell breaks loose here, all those judgments, because the Lord is already judging, you know, but it's going to increase.
Yeah.
Okay, to the point where this place is ultimately destroyed, man.
Right. And that's why the judgment is open for our people.
Yeah.
Like they was going to Israel.
Right.
Right. They the one that went into captivity. But even though the Lord put into captivity, he still he thought Edom after them to kill them off. They just finished these niggas off.
Right. Right.
You read in the NLT, it said, even if their enemy drive them into exile, I'll command the sword to kill them there.
Right.
And who's the sword? Esau is. And then it said, I am determined, he is determined, he already made it up, to bring the disaster upon them and not to help them.
Yeah.
So that's why you really get, it's fucked up, and you get all like, damn, Jake get all shot down,
right.
and get fucked up, or they made out, but hey, the Lord doing this shit to our people, man.
Right.
So it's like, the Lord is like, I got my head off, I got my glove off these people, and I'm gonna finish them off, like basically annihilate these motherfuckers.
That's right, bro. That's right.
All the way up until the fucking fire, hey, Jacob trouble until the fire come down. The Lord said, I'm gonna finish these niggas off.
Yeah.
Even though I put you in captivity, I'm gonna still finish Esau, eat them after your ass and finish your ass off, man. That's some cold ass shit.
Yeah.
So that's why the Lord told who was that make me pay out for the people in Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, yeah.
He was like, damn, like, but hey, I'm the one that doing this shit.
Yeah.
How you gonna feel more compassionate about my people than me? I'm the one that put in that predicament.
Right.
All because we have moved the house outside the wrath.
That's right.
Our
bro.
people, we went the fuck off. That's why the Lord doing it to us, man.
That's
so
right,
it's all
bro.
a learning experience.
Right.
So when we get to keep in heaven, we're like, man,
Right.
we want to go naturally again.
Even now, Lord raising up his men, Jake is still rebellious.
Yeah.
Jake is the same spirit that rebelling against the prophets. It's doing that till this very day, man. Okay? Because they see us out here, Jake be thinking shit funny.
Right.
Because everything is a joke to a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Jake's still in that fucking class clown spirit, man. But that's okay, because all that shit is a marketing issue, man. The Lord's marking all you, so you can't say ain't no cloak for your sin. Okay, ain't no excuse. Because the Lord he raised up his men before you, told you who you were, that you're the Israelites, you need to repent. Get right to the Lord. This is why all this shit happened to us, because of our rebelliousness. But you still want to be rebellious ass niggas. And so that's why the Lord he's also raising up that sword, that's putting that spirit back on Esau. Okay, because we watch, that's why it's good sometimes to watch some old movies.
Right.
Like Rosewood. Okay, what's another one?
And even Posse show you that.
Right.
And he's always gonna give them up on don't burn.
Yeah, bro.
Man, that was
So you can get that constant reminder of who the fuck you dealing with, man.
yeah.
Okay? Because that shit has never went away. You know, just because they ain't burning your house down, they ain't lynching you from trees, which they still doing that shit, right? Okay? Just because they not doing it on the level as they used to do it, doesn't mean they don't have that same vitriol and hatred towards you, right? Okay?
I got a quick one real quick. This is Psalms 140, and this is a Psalm of David. And it reads, "Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart."
That's Esau. Yep, that's Esau. He's the violent man. Because if you look at this man's track record, that's all he's ever done in this earth is bring violence, man. Okay? When you look at these other countries, he bombed the shit out of these other countries. These other countries ain't got the power to come and drop them. Imagine if them other nations come over here and drop bombs on these cities in America. Okay? And how the outrage would be. know, because that's what he does with his media. He uses that media to push his propaganda. Okay, he demonizes these other groups that don't want to conform to his ways. Okay, he'll make them look like a bad guy. They'll make them seem like they're the villain of the entire earth.
Right.
You know, but meanwhile, he's really the villain. Okay, he's the villain. He's the one terrorizing all these other people, man. People over there. That's what this man was created to do. He was set up to be the wicked.
Yep. Yeah, I got to read the mention. Yep. It said reckless or malicious behavior that causes discomfort or annoyance in others.
Right, and that's the nature of Esau. This man is malicious. He intentionally does things to get you to lose your character, so they can paint a narrative about you, so they can justify in doing what they do. Just like every time they murder unarmed Jake, what's the first thing they do? They throw up his history of so-called criminal history. Okay, to dehumanize him. You know, to make him look like an animal. So people in the public can be like, okay, he deserved that because he was a beast. You know what I'm saying? But in fact, this motherfucker is the beast.
Yeah. Okay. Just like this nigga, the one that created crack at UCLA.
Right.
Then brought the crack over here and let Jake run wild amok, and then brought in the free crack law and the crack law to have a mean and justification to give him damn near life in prison.
Right.
But he don't want to set the whole play up.
Yeah. Right.
But hey, that go back to the Lord allowing Esau to do that.
That's right.
The Lord, that's why it said another word for mischief, it said that it's harm or trouble caused by someone or something.
Right.
So he don't want to create these things to cause harm to our people.
That's right.
Right? He don't want to set up all this stuff to oppress our people, but ultimately it's the Lord that allowed Esau to do these things.
That's right. That's right. That's why you gotta watch this, man. That's why you gotta be circumspect. You gotta know who you're dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these devils out here, you know, all these motherfuckers, man. You gotta watch people, man. Because you got a lot of agents out here. You got a lot of, even if they not agents, you know, for the government, they're agents of Satan, man. Okay, because Satan will hop on any of these people and try to get you out the spirit. You know, and like I'm saying, we not perfect, okay, but that's why we got to remain in the scriptures, man. Because this is our guide, this is our instructions, this is how we're supposed to maneuver, this is how we're supposed to navigate in this society. Without this, we're beasts. Okay, without this, we have no protection. This is why this is referred to as a shield. Okay, when you follow these instructions, you're protected from the evil out here, man.
This is Zechariah 11:4. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty."
That's what we're doing. We're feeding the flock of the Lord, the slaughter, because our people are being slaughtered over here, man. So like I said, their possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And that's what constantly, my brother was going into that. It was over there in New York. I forget the devil's name. He was an officer. He choked out Jake on the train out there, and he just got off. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's countless other examples. You know what I'm saying? And even if they do go to jail, they don't get as much time as they should.
And like the brother Robert wanted to do last week at camp about no, not brother Yakamamba on the video of the building the victim on the Met. He was like, I basically play a man, but then play the victim.
Right.
Basically, like even his his grandfather, basically anybody touch him, you get a bit sevenfold.
Right.
And he was like 70-fold. So he up the floor with him. That's why you can't really expect no type of jumping when it comes to Esau. This goes back to Lamech. Basically, you basically can't get the repentance back, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Lord gonna let it all play out.
That's right. That's right. That's right, bro. That's why I say we should have no might in our hand.
Right.
Okay. We should have our life shall hang in doubt. Who else does that apply to, man?
Right.
But Jake, especially back in the day when Jake used to do those songs, they always used to rap about like, "Will I live to see another day?"
Yeah.
Jake used to always say that in their songs.
Yeah, that's the curtain though, Deuteronomy 28. They say that life shall hang in doubt.
Yeah.
They look at doubt as wavering. So it can go good or it can go bad. You don't know. So that's why Jake gets nervous when he gets pulled by the cop. That's part of the curse in our spirit. That's why the Lord puts our spirit to act a certain way when you get pulled by a cop. Right. You're on that curtain, man. Right. You open up that curtain, right. You might don't get nervous, nigga. They really get pulled over. Yeah. Agent ain't for sure ain't get pulled over for not nobody, man.
That's right.
So who fit the curtain?
Right. That's right.
Only our people, man.
That's right.
That's to prove that. And the truth is, your life shall hang in doubt.
Right.
You literally be like, fuck, like, oh, you got a broken tail light. Right. How many Jake died? You got a broken tail light. Right. Or a fire tag. Right. That's the curtain. Right. And the Lord let him and let Esau have his way. Yeah. Why? Because that person was wicked. Yeah, it's a fucked up situation. Right. On the outside, it just looked like a normal innocent Jake getting killed by a cop. Right. But behind the scene, the first was dead. That person was wicked, and that was his judgment.
Right, that's the Lord's wrath upon Jake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because Ice Cube, he had that song back in the day, Today Was a Good Day. Yeah. One of the lyrics, he said, police roll right past me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing that's constantly on Jake's mind. Because when the police get behind you, you're like, man,
yeah.
Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You know,
you ain't got nothing. Everything good.
Right.
Still nervous. Hey,
right.
You don't see videos of Jake with this holster trying to get his gun out wrestling with the cop. You see Esau doing that.
Yeah.
You know, he get pulled over and talk about, I'm a taxpayer, I know my rights.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, they be lenient and patient with these motherfuckers. Yeah. When it comes to their own people, they get shot at, they still try to be lenient and patient. Like, fuck that. Yeah. Like, you know that Jake, man.
Right. Backing up from him.
Yeah. Backing up. Don't make me do it.
Right. Esau walk up to you and say, are you on probation or parole?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Automatically. They say, one of them. I bet this nigga on parole or probation.
One or the other.
Yeah.
You know you have a bet like, lunch. This nigga on parole or what? Yeah. You know, they probably make a bet all type of shit, man.
I think you boys better come with us.
Back in Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slayed them and hold themselves not guilty.
Yeah, I was watching some archives about the Emmett Till shit, man.
Oh man.
When you watch that the archives, you see, you know, this old ass footage, man. Like you can barely hear the sound, but you can just see them devils, how they were just sitting down, they were having a good time and shit. They laughing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they already knew what the verdict was gonna be. The whole jury, all of them was Edomites. Judge and Edomite, you know what I'm saying? And they all know each other, man. Yep. You know? And this the Emmett Till's mother, you know what I'm saying? She in the back crying because she knows she's not gonna get justice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the fact, you know, that Esau was able to go, because Emmett Till was with his grandfather. They was in the house. The fact that these motherfuckers was able to go in the house and the grandfather couldn't do nothing. You gotta remember, this is 1955, this is Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Jake can't do shit. These niggas always talking about, man, you ain't done shit.
Hey, tried you would've, that whole house was burned down.
Right.
Like, come on, man. How you think all these fucking late shit? Right. Because like late year. Because Jake was like, hell no, they just brought that whole bitch out.
Yeah, bro.
So just think about it, how he already knew the history. Right. And he lived through that shit. Of course he can't do nothing, man. Right. It's the truth and the curse again. Yeah. That they're talking about no might be in your hand. Yep. He thought he could take your kid and be like, yep. And you gotta sit there and take that shit. Right. You gotta eat that shit, man. Right. Hey, but that's like I don't know what they're talking about.
That's what they'll sit there, the person that had their children, they'll sit there and ask the child a question, won't even look at the parents. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Show it, because they do it to show that control that they have over our life here, man. You know what I mean? Because Esau can pull you over for, they got a thing called just cause. They can pull you over if they even have a suspicion. You know, when they have a suspicion, they can stop you. You can be walking, you can literally be walking, you can be getting off work, walking from your car to the house, police officer roll up to you, hey, I need to talk to you. What you doing in this neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? Because they have that suspicion. You know what I'm saying? that shows you who's the oppressor and who's the oppressed. Because we can't do that shit to these devils, man. Even them Jake that become police officers, you don't see them doing that shit to no good Mike.
And even Nathan himself. About whatever type name it is.
Right.
They're like, no, that's authentic.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right.
man.
That's the stepping fetch niggas, like the nigga off of life. The gunline boss, that's that type. That's that nigga, man. That's them police officers, man. Stepping balls, man. Go ahead, bro.
Back in Zechariah 11 and 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Yup, and the Lord's holding you guilty. How about Shimei Shai is gonna, like the brother said, he's gonna be the one that bring that vengeance upon you. Because we can't do nothing ultimately, man. Okay, we don't have no strength or might in our hands in this society, man. What is one of the curses? We shall go to our enemy for the one of all things. Okay? You gotta go to this man in order for you to make a living here in this society, man. You know, that's why you gotta behave wisely. You gotta move wisely. You know, when you go on your job and shit, don't be, at your job being in that super duper Israelite spirit, man. You know, cussing out Esau on your job and shit, man, bringing all unnecessary. I'll be seeing Jake's out here, maybe rocking their fringes, you know what I'm saying? Not little baby garment on like that. What the fuck you doing? You know, I'm talking to Jake, like, it's something I observed. This nigga's stupid, man. You know? And that's part of being circumspect, watching, man, paying attention, man. You know, like I said, you got agents out here. Go ahead, bro.
It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
Right, and these shepherds, these so-called leaders, okay, they bought and paid for it, man. Okay, all these people you look up to, all of them, they all doing the bidding of the devil. Okay, they're not giving you the real. They're not giving you the truth of what the hell is going on. Okay, they're going to tell you what the oppressor has hired them to tell you, man. Okay, because they're receiving their consolation.
Yep.
Okay, that's why they say certain things. They like for instance, Fox. You watch Fox News, they always got some cool ass niggas debate against Jake. That's speaking on the ills in the society.
Right.
But then they when they bring Jake on like they had that nigga Cameron on Fox News years ago, and they had this nigga going back and forth going around. That shit was an embarrassment, man.
Yeah.
It's all foolishness at the end of the day, because what they're doing is they're painting a picture. Because Cameron didn't understand that. They was just using him to show, Edomite, white America. Look at how these niggas talk. Look how they think. See, this is why we stay away from this. This is another example of average nigga in America.
Yep. It came out that one dude on Fresh and Fit, and even a Jake. That dude, he a full-blown Elamite, but yeah, he's bringing up topics and talking points about us being, just a degraded ass race.
Yeah, that nigga, that motherfucker Myron.
That dude.
He was on Fox News debating this simple ass nigga they had. I forget his name, but he had this simple ass nigga on here going back and forth with Edomite bitches and his simple ass, talking about how because they know the plight of our people here in the society. You know what I'm saying? They know that all these things, police brutality, which all this shit has been going on forever, man. This ain't nothing new. Okay, all this shit Jake think they talking about, man, that shit been going on forever, man. Yeah. Okay, what do you think the 60s and 70s, what do you think all them riots was about, man? It was about police brutality, man. The Watch riots in 65, what do you think that was about? That was about police brutality. Okay? And that continues to be a theme. I wonder why. Okay? And see, that's why the Lord has his men out here to let you know, hey, the reason why these things are happening to us is because we have rebelled against the Lord, and this is the punishment, man. Go ahead.
This is going back to Psalms 140, I'll start at verse 2 again. It reads, which imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are gathered together for war.
Right. That's what the MO of the so-called white man. That's all he imagines against us, man. How he's going to bring evil upon us, man. Okay? And that's what this society is all geared to. That's why you so-called Negroes like the Latinos and Native Americans, they think you're going to try to okay? You're a bunch of damn fools. Because this man shown you time and time again that he doesn't value your life. Okay, he doesn't respect you. This man's showing you nothing but pure hatred, man. And he continues to do so. You know? That's why these so-called Latinos, especially so-called Mexicans out here, man, they look down on your own people. Okay, you got all this energy for the so-called black man. Okay, but when it comes to this damn cracker, this motherfucker that stole your land. Okay, took your land from you, took your heritage from you, man, took your women, just like he did us. He took all women from us, had his way with all women, he has his way with your women, man, and continue. Okay? But you got all this energy for us, man. And this motherfucker calling you an illegal immigrant in your own fucking home, man. Okay? When has the so-called black man stole your land, man? Okay? When has the so-called black man called you an illegal immigrant? You got some ass niggas out here, you know, these clean ass miracle niggas. Okay? But for the most part, the so-called black man ain't done shit to you so-called Latinos, man. Okay, and vice versa, man. You niggas that got a problem with the so-called Latinos, don't you know the so-called Latinos was helping us in the time of slavery?
That's right.
Okay? You see, that he sort of wants you to know that history because he don't want you to know that we're the same people.
Right.
So he gives us these so-called cultural differences. That's why he's starting this shit, this hip-hop shit. The FBA, they got that stupid-ass term. What they call it? Tethered? They call it, because they really be using it against Benjamin and Levi, man. You know, the Caribbeans, you know what I'm saying? Because Jake, man, that's why, man, the Lord gonna destroy these niggas, man.
That's right.
You niggas that Caribbean niggas, American niggas, that shit that's going on, the Lord gonna destroy that shit, man. Okay, because at the end of the day, we the same people. Ain't nothing but divide and conquer, man. Okay, because at the end of the day, all y'all arguing about, oh, I'm FBA, I'm Caribbean. At the end of the day, you niggas not in power.
Right.
Okay? All this, who controls these record labels? You niggas don't. Okay, Jake on the brow, we invented hip hop. You know, this hip hop started here. You know what I'm saying? But nigga don't control shit.
Yeah.
You know? You don't control the narrative. Okay? And they use that same music. They criminalize our people, man. Because you see this young generation, these YNs, okay? These niggas is actually going to the studio after they murder each other, man, and putting it and recording and speaking about this shit, man. Put that shit in the music, man.
Yeah, that's like Kid Phil did Killer Man.
Right.
He was rapping and shit.
Right.
And then he was rapping about how he was gonna court and win. And then how we gonna do apple court.
Right.
He was like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
it shows you that these niggas are fucking dumb, man.
Right. Right. And that's part of that darkness, that ignorance that our people are in, man. Okay? Go ahead, bro.
Continuing, this is verse 3, and it reads, they have sharpened their tongues like serpents.
Yup.
Like serpent adders, poison is under their lips.
Yup. And they speak evil against us. Okay? When you especially, like I said, going into Esau's media, you know, when they speak about our people, it's always in a negative aspect, man. Okay? It's always an agenda. You know, even when Jake, that so-called, you know, they had a clean image about them, they try to ruin their image. You know, try to discredit them, try to make them look like, you know, they're not law-abiding citizens, man. They try to criminalize them any way they can they can paint their narrative about Jake, they're going to do it. Okay, especially if Jake that's not willing to play ball, man. That's not willing to, you know, sell their people out.
Yeah, they're talking about a work picture of you.
Yeah.
You know, this guy, he's on the AR.
Right.
You know, in the air pistol the whole time.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Right.
And like that, going back to that poison, because the state poison, it meant the army.
Yeah.
It meant to basically neutralize you and kill you off. That's
right.
Like, but the thing, that lie, that damage control of the paint of the negative image in the public eye to where you're totally damn. You can't even come from that.
Yep. Yep. Just like these songs where it says, you know, words of his mouth, smoother than butter, the words in his mouth.
Yeah.
So even if they come at you in a friendly manner, you know, just try to make it seem like they cool with you. Really, it's an agenda behind that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they you know, they're not upright. They're not created to be upright, man.
Yeah.
Okay, they always gonna be that serpent that's within them is always gonna be exposed, man.
Yeah, it's Rock 12. Never trust thy enemy.
Yep, never trust our enemy. Yep, go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 13. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
That's right. That's why we don't feel sorry for a lot of our people at times, man, because you trust in your enemy, man. Okay? We don't feel sorry for niggas like David. Okay? Because he got caught up in that lifestyle, man.
Forecast.
You know? All that lust, all that shit, all that darkness that he got himself wrapped up into. Okay, he got charmed by that snake and he got his ass bit. You know, now he's sitting there begging, you know, trying to get that Trump to pardon his ass. You know, because Trump didn't pardon. He pardoned Larry Hoover. He pardoned that dude from out here. What's his name? He started death row shit. He was one that he funded that death row. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But pretty much he's using that as a ploy for Jake, because that's when everybody got mad at Snoop, because Snoop went to perform at some place where I guess Trump is a part of it, and people got mad at Snoop Dogg and shit. You know what I'm saying? But he uses that to make Jake think that he's on their side. You know, but it's an agenda behind it, man.
Right.
He's not doing that because he cares about you. You gotta believe, like I said, never trust thy enemy, man. There's a reason that he's doing it, man. Okay, he's setting you niggas up for the open though. Go ahead, bro.
This is verse 4, Psalms 140 and verse 4, and it reads, keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked.
Right, and that's the mindset we have, man. Okay, that's like King David, you know. Hide me from the workers of iniquity. Because that's what these motherfuckers are. Okay? He don't like smiling in your face. Best believe the reason why he's smiling because he's thinking, he's imagining all that evil he's going to do against you, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Preserve me from the violent man who have proposed to overthrow my goings.
That's right. And see, and it's showing you that we got to wait upon the Lord, man. The Lord is going to be the one to take us out of this situation, okay? So going, you know, ain't nothing wrong for, you know, training, you know, protecting yourself and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But to think that you're going to be able to come up against this man with weapons, think you're going to come up against this man by, you know, think you're going to man, the Lord, man, you're going to get fucking crushed, man. Okay? We can't do shit. Okay? You know? Because we still, we in slavery. We in captivity. And Jay got, you know, you don't think Jay could have whooped Esau's ass? We stronger than him. These damn devils, man. Okay? Physically, mentally, all across the board, we stronger than these damn devils. But that was the Lord allowing this man to bring us down, you know, ultimately, to fulfill prophecy. We will always be sin against the Lord. All right, go ahead.
Also, add real quick too, who showed us that by example, going back into the scriptures, was King was saying when he came across Saul and he could have slain him in the cave.
Right.
He didn't do it because he was like, no, the Father put him in this position. Who
Right.
am I to take him out of it?
That's right, brother. Yeah.
And it's so on and so forth. King David came across multiple enemies that he had the chance to, make a move on him, or it would be like some of his men. His men would come and take vengeance upon, somebody. And then when King David did, he put them together because they went against what the Lord had planned.
That's right, bro. That's right. Yep, right, bro.
This is verse 5, and it reads, "The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords they have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me."
That's right, and that's what they do. They got a thing called entrapment. Where they used to have a show where they have these cars. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Bank card.
Bank card. You know what I'm saying? Jake, dumbass. You know
They
what
did a
I'm
lot
saying?
of the family deal too.
Right. Jake, dumbass, fall for the shit, man. But ultimately, who set that snare, man? Esau. To imprison Jake, man. As we were speaking about that earlier, on the way up here, man, how back in the early 1900s, they started that 13th Amendment. They have the chain gangs. They will arrest Jake for any little thing, whether it be littering, or whatever. They'll just make some shit up and arrest Jake so they can have Jake in prison, and they'll start using that term convict because they couldn't just come out and call you a nigger. Right. Because everything was becoming political. So they need, that's why racism became more sophisticated. He might not walk up to you and call you a nigger, but he can do things to prevent you from getting a certain job, getting a house. Okay, they had to turn red money. A lot of that took place out here on the West Coast, particularly in Los Angeles. Why do you think LA is so segregated? That was done for a reason, man.
Yeah, they did a lot of those, like LA, they started to create these suburban areas where he thought to move out to. And they kept Jake in the inner city. And you got these inner city, urban, all those are code words for niggas.
Right.
Urban. Right. Code word for niggas. Suburban is code word for the other nation, Esau.
Right. Right. Inner city. Who do you think they're talking about? Young niggas, YNs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all niggas, they all got these different terms, but they pretty much saying the same damn thing.
Yep.
Even with the clothing, they call it J clothing. What they call it? Streetwear.
Streetwear, urban clothing.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, that's part of all that propaganda Esau pushes out in that media. That's how that's that poison. Because that's why these other nations, when they come over here, whatever land they come from, they already got that expectation in their mind that as soon as they see a so-called black man, so-called Latino man, that they will be some criminal shit, man.
Yeah, what was that term that Hillary Clinton was putting back?
Super predator.
Yeah, the predator.
Yep.
That was a code word for niggas.
Right.
And then guess what came about that? The crime bill.
Right.
By her truly Sleepy Joe.
Right. Right. Because they use these terms so they can mask their hide racism. So when they say words like convict, they can use out for prisoners. But really among themselves, they know they talking about niggas.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But they know how to mask it, in a way that the public they can't differentiate that they really talking about Jake, man.
Yeah, that's part of that witchcraft word.
Yep.
Basically, he thought he was talking a very deceptive way.
Yeah.
Even though he's thinking English, it might seem plain speaking, but really the way he used the word and placed it is witchcraft.
Yep.
That's part of his witchcraft.
Yeah, that craft. You know what I'm saying?
Crafting to the kid. You use that witchcraft to basically trap you up. Basically, you get trapped to this word and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
That you're being trapped to this word.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like, if you think about it, Babylon the Great's English is different from the English of the Great United Kingdom. It's completely two different types of English. The same words. Yeah. It's just a bunch of different meanings.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how they trap you up. That word.
This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. That Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right, we're not ignorant to this man's devices.
Yeah.
We've been woken up to this truth. We've been the Lord has given us the insight on how this man operates.
Right. You know, he up there, scheme.
Yep,
So he
schemes.
stayed scheming on us.
Yep.
Right? He stayed plotting and scheming on us. That's a real fucking schemer.
Right.
All right? Check out that called scheming dog.
Yep.
Esau's a real schemer right there.
Yeah,
man.
that's right.
That motherfucker would scheme your ass up.
Stop scheming and looking hard. You know what I'm saying? That's Esau, man. You know? 'Cause that's what these police officers do, man. They plant shit on Jake.
Oh, the way they ask questions is to try to trap you up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, that's not on me. But when you said, yeah, that's how they trap you. Even when it comes to get on that stand, prosecutors, that's how they're gonna trap you up with that word.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta stay pretty fifth, because you might say something, you might answer a question honestly and truthfully, but then the next question is to make me cross-reference, make the part where you thought was true, and then you got like, wait a second, wow, like, that's how you fucking trip you up, man.
Right. That's what this cop tried to do to me a couple of months ago. I was just walking, I was just taking my stroll, and all of a sudden I seen this police car pull up next to me, right? And he looked at me out the window, and I looked, and he called me over and shit. He said, "Hey, they don't want you going to this 7-Eleven." I said, "Sir, I've never been to that 7-Eleven." He told me, "Hey, just sit down on the curb and let me talk to you." So I sat down on the curb, right? So he got out of his car looking down at me. He said, "Let me see some ID around." So I gave him my ID. I said, "I was getting off work." I said, "I have my work shirt on." You know what I'm saying? And what he did was he called the store at 7-Eleven that he said I went to. And he ended up finding out that I wasn't the guy he was looking for. But the point is, when I walked up to his car, he asked me what my name was. I told him my name, whatever. And he got out the car, and when I'm showing him my ID and everything, he said, "Man, you said your name was such and such." I know, I told you my name. He heard me say my name, but he was trying to trip me up. Right. But when I stood firm on what I said, he said, "Damn." He said, "Man, he ain't falling for it." So but ultimately it was the Lord.
And,
Lord, Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they are, though. That's the nature. That was that scheming. He thought he was going to be able to, go out there and trap Jacob. These devils, they got to hit a pole. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, "Man, first we got to play something on and get him up out here." But thankfully, God, I'm sorry. That's the beautiful thing about this truth, man.
Hey, what is this about?
So what?
What is this about?
We're the Israelites.
What?
Okay? The Israelites. Okay?
Oh.
We are here saying basically so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true people of the Lord. And prophesying the downfall of America. What's your nationality?
Armenian.
Armenian.
Yep.
Okay, so basically, that's what we are here. We're out here letting these people know that these are the people of the Lord, and America is getting ready to be destroyed, man. That's why all hell is breaking loose. It's going to break loose in this society. Okay, and we're going in our people. Okay, that's pretty much what we're out here. We're out here explaining that we're in the last days. The one who the world enemy calls Jesus Christ, which is a so-called black man. He's getting ready to return to deliver his people and to destroy this earth. I mean, not this earth, this land. Okay?
It's interesting.
Yep.
I'm gonna go on my day.
Okay. All right. You have more on that, bro?
Con, there's a couple more real quick about it.
And going back to that testimony I just gave, that's why I brought up that show, because that's how these Edomites, if you're not in the spirit, you know what I'm saying, you're not understanding how this man operates, like it's like we're red, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, you're going to get caught up. You're going to get caught up in this man's trap. System.
Yeah, you're gonna try to call me. Oh, yeah, I'm just trying to help you out through what's going on.
Right.
Try to come on humbly and, call like, you have to try to check it out.
Right.
Then, you get real into that trap.
Yep.
That's how Esau play the game, man. You think, okay, he's cool and whatnot, but then you don't even realize that he's pulling you in, and then you know he got your ass.
Look really secret.
Yeah, hook, line, sinker. You got your ass, man. You didn't realize it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and that's how this man, that's how Esau get down. Especially, like I said, if you don't want to play ball, you know, you come with that attitude like you ain't gonna kiss this man's ass, he gonna demonize you, man. Okay? It's like with these athletes, you know, why you think they promote certain athletes over other athletes? Because Jake, you know, the ones that play it safe, you know, they don't want to offend these damn devils. They gonna keep quiet, and rightfully so. You know, ultimately, you don't have the spirit of these athletes speak up any damn way, man. That's right. That's that. You know, what the fuck is an athlete? Okay? You know, their job is, you know, to be damn shove and dribble, man. Okay? Right, gladiators. You know, that's their lot. You know, that's what the Lord said. That's why the Lord said His true men. Right. Okay, because the true men of the Lord, they're not bought and paid for. Okay, they're not hirelings, man. Right. Okay, that's why we can come out here through the spirit of power and how about Shai in great boldness against our oppressor and speak on the atrocities, man. Right. Okay.
This is Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
Right, and we've been given the bread of adversity. But guess what? The Lord still got His men out here, man. Like we seen all apostles and elders. Okay, you know, a lot of us seen them through the videos, man. You know, we came across this information. Now we understand why we've been catching him. Now we understand why we always on the bottom here, man. Okay, because we've been awoken out of that dead state, man. Okay, we have that breath within us, man. Okay, we're no longer those dry bones in the valley. And that valley is here in America, man. Okay, and a lot of our people are still in that dead state, man. But ultimately, the Lord wants them to stay in that dead state because He's only coming back for a small remnant, man. Right. Okay. What?
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying.
This only applies to the elect right now, because only the elect is going to be able to hear these words and understand and cleave unto this word, man. You know, because a lot of these people, Jake, walking by up and down the street, you know, they hear our voices, they see us out here. We out here telling them that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true Israelites, man. Okay? But a lot of them, the Lord hasn't given them that spirit within to register, for the spirit to register, man. You know? And, you know, ultimately, all Israel's going to get it in the kingdom. You know, we ain't going to have to come out here and teach our people. So we ain't farming right now at this moment, man. You know, but they're going to get it ultimately in the kingdom. Right. Go ahead. Yep.
And
can I just quick real quick? This is Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe.
Right. The name of Yahweh by Shai is a strong tower. Okay? And that's why we so pushing the name, man. That's why Spirit is on. So all our apostles, elders, and down to push the names of Yahweh by Shai, man. Because those brothers have given, you know, testimonies throughout the years and how those names have delivered them out of certain situations. Yep. And especially the times that we're coming into, man. You know, that if you calling on something else, you're gonna be out here fucked. Okay? Go ahead.
back in Isaiah 30 and 21, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it.
Right, and that's what we heard spiritually. You know, when we seen our teachers, man, this is the truth, man. This is where it's at. Right. You know, because in the world, you know, Jake was going into all these different philosophies, these different religions, because Jake is looking for the truth. Jake is looking for answers. Yeah. You know, where it says, get somebody get that in Romans where it says, Israel will be seated at the election of the taint. Yeah, because ultimately the Lord hid this, you know, from the masses, man. You know, that's why we, you know, when we come out here, you don't have a lot of Jakes out here listening to us. You know, and you have the brothers that do come, it's only few. Right. Okay? Because the Lord doesn't want this. That's a cut for individuals that try to come with that worldly spin on the doctrine. word. That's the truth. You know what I mean? You out here doing hip hop videos and shit. Okay, have these extravagant feasts and gatherings. You know, Lord ain't about that, man. You know. Go ahead, bro.
This is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. And it reads, "What then Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded."
Right, because Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, a lot of our people are looking for answers. But what is it to say? Read it again, brother.
It reads, "What then Israel hath not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath attained it, and the rest were blinded."
Right, the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay, and that's why you see a few of us out here preaching this word. You know, Lord willing, because it speaks about many shall be called, but few shall be chosen. Right, and we hope to be chosen. You know, it's just because you're called doesn't necessarily mean you're chosen. But the point is, those that can hear this word and take heed, you know, more than likely, those individuals are the Lord's fold, the sheep. Because what does God said in St. John, man, 10th chapter? My sheep hear my voice and they follow me, man. You know, going back to Revelation 14, they follow the Lamb wherever so the Lamb will. You know, so that's referring to that small remnant now. You know, because the majority of these people on this sign, man, they're a bunch of wicked ass individuals, man. Okay, they're still in darkness, man. They're still in that dead state. Okay, because if you walking around 2025 as a so-called black man, okay, bald ass head, bald ass face, talking about you're a Muslim, you a dry bone, man. That's what you're doing. Okay, you talking about you still in blood and crip, you a dry ass bone, man. Okay, you talking about you got niggas out here calling themselves atheists. You know, they don't even believe in the Lord. Richard, look at them. Like, how the fuck can you explain everything that you see? Like, come on, man.
Right.
Jake is out there fucking mind, man. You know, but that's that. What's that scripture saying? The apocrypha, an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
Yep.
You know, and that's what happens when we get caught in this man's food system. Okay, going to all these colleges, these universities, you get to all these different books, you get bugged the fuck out. You know, you ain't got no sure foundation, which this is our foundation, the scriptures, the Bible. Okay, the scriptures, everything that we need to know is in the scriptures, man. You know, if you're not in the scriptures, you subject to all this bullshit out here, you're gonna be tossed to and fro like the scripture says. You're gonna be out here all over the goddamn place.
This is verse 8, and it reads, "According as it is written, the Heavenly Father hath given them spirit of slumber, eyes that should see, the eyes that should not see, and ears that should not hear unto this day."
Right, your spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears, man. Because you spiritually drunk. Okay? So when you walk out here, you see us, like, what the hell they talking, what the hell are they doing out there, you know? You can't understand you can't perceive what's going on, man. Right. You know, you can't see that this is the men that the Lord has set up to come out here and prophesy this place. That's why I told that guy that came up, because, you know, he looked perplexed when he seen it. Like, what the hell? You know? Because they're not used to seeing it. That's why I was saying earlier, these other nations, where they come from all these different areas, they got a perception of Jake. So when they see Jake outside of that, they're like, man, what the hell? You know? Because they're not used to seeing young so-called black men, so-called Latino men out here with Bibles in their hand. Man, they expect to see us, you know, with our pants hanging off our ass with guns in our hand, about to rob somebody.
They expect the stigma.
Right.
That's put on Israel.
Right.
Newport smoking, me smoking,
Right.
8-ball drinking.
Right.
But when they see us, they like, oh shit.
Yep.
Wisdom.
Yeah, bro. Because you do got niggas out there that's doing that. Because when we was coming down here, man, that brother Carbo was talking, you know, you had these Jakes, these niggas in Oakland, they shot up this dude, this Jake's restaurant.
Oh, Cake Bud?
Huh?
Cake Bud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He filmed it and shit. He said, see, this is See how y'all do? See how you try to open up something, y'all fuck it up, man.
They can't have shit, man.
Right. You know? So Jake do play into that shit, man. You know? Ultimately, who's in control of this man, this media, man? It's Esau. You know? Because he's the one that's pushing that propaganda throughout the earth, man. But this motherfucker that stole lands, he stole continents, man.
Heritages.
So people identity.
Identity.
Between the people
Real
themselves.
identity.
Right. Right, he stole us and shit, you know?
So,
You know what I'm saying? But he painted us like we the worst motherfuckers that ever walked this earth, man. You know, that's why this place is going to receive a great judgment, man.
That's right.
You know, go ahead, bro.
This is verse 9, and it reads, And David saith, Let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them.
Talking about our people, man. Okay? All these things that you into is a trap, a snare to you, man. Okay? And you still can't get it to this day. You know? To this day. You know, you got Jacob come up here and nigga said, man, I ain't trying to disrespect y'all, but Jake want to put their 2 cents in. But just come with that Muslim, like, nah, bro, get that shit up out of here, man. You know? You see, in the ancient world, a nigga like that, you know? You see, because a lot of them dudes from the other religions, Jakes, they be watching the videos, man. You know? And a lot of them low-key be learning. But they be acting like they doing it on their own. You know? That's the Lord gonna destroy you niggas, man. Because you hear the Lord being the Lord, but you're not taking heed to the truth. Okay? You know, but that just goes to show you that the word is out there, man. So you can't say, oh, I never heard of these guys. Man, we know you niggas is watching the videos, man. Okay, niggas sitting up here talking they be using terms, you know, that brothers use, you know, small heads. Like, where you niggas, where you at? Get that from, man. When no niggas saying small head before the apostles and the brothers of Great Millstone, man.
you see Cameron on his podcast, he said, oh, she coming with that Esau energy.
Yeah.
She said it just like that. Cameron said it. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you had that one Jake that Brandon T. Jackson, Daweed, that came by the brother's camp out here, you know?
Right, yeah.
Putting his own spin, trying to make music, trying to still be in the industry and
Right.
Who that is?
Right.
Perpetrator, man.
Right. Love not this world, neither things are in this world, man. You know, but ultimately, like, that's what we're going to. It's only for that small remnant.
This is verse 10. This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 10, and it reads, Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always.
Yep. So you can't see what? It's truth. Okay. No matter how plain, no matter how eloquent brothers may speak, okay, break it down to the simplest form, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna be able to perceive it, man.
Totally stuck in the matrix.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's like work like it. There's nothing to do for them.
Yeah.
But even if you do unplug it, they're gonna go right back into the matrix.
Yep.
And they're gonna protect it. They're gonna fight it at all costs.
Yep.
You know?
they see. They live.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Just fighting them. Put the
Yeah,
glass,
get that off me.
Yep.
You know, we people don't want to be awakened. Why?
Yeah.
Because the Lord don't want to wake them up, man.
Yeah.
So it's already embedded in their spirit to not be awoke,
Right.
not to wake out of that dead sleep. That's why they the growth covering of the whole earth.
Yeah.
They part of that growth covering.
Yep.
And they're helping it. They're help perpetrating it, and they're gonna
affording it.
help forward it and eliminate it. You know, and that's all they know is that darkness.
Yeah. Lord said he was going to send strong delusion
Yes.
that they should believe a lie.
Right.
The Lord got them in that strong lie.
Yep. Yep.
Stuck.
Yep.
Because this word is not for all Israel.
Right.
You know?
That's right. That's right. Yep, bro.
Joel 12 and 16, with him is strength and wisdom, the deceiving the deceiver are his.
Yep. Yep. Because ultimately Esau, he's been given that spirit by the Lord to deceive the people.
Right. Some guys will bottle pit.
Yep.
Or to defeat the nation or 8 seasons. So he's in that season right now, deceiving the whole world.
Right.
But his time is coming to a close right now.
Right.
But all the lies is being that curtain, that veil being pulled back.
Right.
Excuse me, guys.
That's why scripture was in Ephesians, pulling down strongholds.
Yep.
You know, that's what we're doing right now.
Right.
We're pulling down the stronghold. Real quick, somebody get that real quick.
Yep. He's deceived the world and thinking that he's the people, he's the chosen.
Yeah, right here pulling down.
Because that's why he painted over our images, man.
Yep.
Making it seem like he's the saint. He's the holy people, okay? Yep. Go ahead, bro.
I got it. If you got it.
If you got it, you got it, bro.
You got it, bro.
This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 2. It says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Right, because we're in this fleshly body, but we're walking in a spiritual state. All right, and we're looking at the things that are not things. All right, go ahead.
Ezekiel 9 to 18, Ecclesiastes says wisdom is better than weapons of warfare.
Yep.
It says, back in 2 Corinthians 10 and 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Right, we're not having guns and knives and swords and stuff, or trying to get our get back or lick back, all right, by any means. At the end of the day, we're doing what we're supposed to do is by coming out here and speaking. Right? Because the scripture says my word is like fire.
Yep.
All right, and that's all we're doing. Bring out this word and spiritually bringing this plate down. Level. And then your house not going to come down and bring the plate down on a physical level. Right? So this plate got to be brought down low in a spiritual sense first.
Yep.
Then it's going to be brought low in a physical sense.
Yep. Yep.
2 Corinthians 10 and 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
Yep.
but mighty through the Heavenly Father to the pulling down of strongholds.
Right, because it's not of our own means, our own strength.
Right.
All right, this is by how about outside, by how the Holy Spirit got us pulling this system down.
Right.
Pulling the lies and deception.
Right.
All right, the scripture said the skirt being lifted.
Right.
And all the secrets being brought out.
Right.
So ultimately, this of the Lord, we're just a means and a vessel to do this part.
Right.
All right, because the Lord can use anybody, anything to
Right.
expose the damn devil.
That's right.
But hey, he's certain men to wait to bring this, bring it about.
Right.
All right, so this is the calling on the earth. This is the realest, truest purpose on earth.
Right.
That's why a lot of these people are lost and without hope because they ain't got no purpose.
Right.
Because there ain't nothing for them to do. They're just useless eaters.
That's right.
Because we don't have the true purpose here on earth.
That's right, bro. And that's why you don't see us out here with fucking big ass assault rifles.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't see us out here with stakes.
Talk about
Okay?
big as the can.
You don't see us out here with fucking body armor on, man. Okay, because we don't come out here in that because what's that push off? That push off a carnal vibration, man. Okay? Because the police can come out here and see Jake in fucking body armor with some big ass assault rifles. What do you think they gonna do?
Yeah, they can roll through.
Okay, that's not wise. You know, but like I said, a lot of these individuals are agents any damn way.
Yep.
That's agent behavior. Why would you do that? You know? Go ahead, bro.
Back in 2 Corinthians 10 and 5, casting down imaginations.
Right, because it's the imagination.
Right.
Everything that Esau is fairy tale.
Right.
Esau's a big ass kid with all these imaginary things.
Right.
All right, talking about we went to the moon. All right, a woman can be man. That's like kids do when they play around and stuff.
Right.
You know, like those what's that one show? Damn, that show called.
Like that evolution's bullshit.
Yeah, all that is fairy tale. It's made up. It's imaginary. You know? Oh, yeah, I think called wordplay. Basically, a lot of those cartoons show you where there was a kid, they pick up a toy, and then it show you that they pretty much doing that thing, but they really been playing with their toys the whole time.
Right.
Like, the kids are very imaginative. But that's all Esau is. He made up these lies off of imaginary things. He's talking about what's the moon, all right, the earth is flat. All those things are imaginary lies.
Right.
It's all deception.
And Jake is getting caught up into that
Yeah.
shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And Jake is doing Esau work for him. Jake is actually going on different platforms, podcasts, spewing that bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Jake is the first one in line to get the damn see him to be in trial with Elon Musk.
Right.
Dumbass nigga getting proud about it. Talk about this the new wave.
Future.
You know.
Children
But that's Esau toys. He just got all this future planned out,
Right.
and he want to execute it, man.
Yeah, it's all imaginary.
All imaginary.
You know, they show you the 50 to 50 all these like Star Trek, Star Wars, Jetson, all that stuff.
Right.
These are things that he imagined to happen. He have they're there, but what his ultimate imagination is to have a digital enslavement of the whole earth. But no, that's not successful.
Right.
Because of property. But that's his imagination though.
Right.
But we're pulling that shit down and saying, no, he's not gonna go that far.
Right.
Because your house trying to come in to interrupt all that shit.
Right, because he's already got the people conditioned and operating as if they got the chip already.
Yeah.
Because people drive, they talking to Alexis, whoever voice.
Yeah.
That's like you having a chip in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Because the chip, that's how they're gonna be able to track you. Because the phone, that's how you use your navigation. That's your chip in the phone showing you your actual location, where you at, GPS and all that. That's gonna be inside you, man.
Yep.
Okay? Where, because this generation of people, these young people that's coming up today, okay, a lot of them, they don't even have a physical one.
Right.
They phone, they just, when they buy shit, even sometimes, we do.
Yeah.
You go, you buy some type of shit, and you go about your business.
Yeah, it's convenient. I ain't
That's
gonna lie.
convenient, you know what I'm saying?
They say, I was reading an article on
Yeah.
that. It's like the age group between 18 and 24-year-olds, they don't use no cash, coin.
Right.
They used to use it Venmo, Cash App, Tap and Pay. It was
Right.
it was a statistic. I forgot which college it was at, but
Right.
they like numbered the students, and all of them didn't carry loose cash.
Yeah. Right.
It's not even with us, it's not even a common thing.
Right.
We may have some, but that Generation X, they don't use cash. They used to it.
Right.
I'd rather send me money through Cash App or whatever.
Right.
You know?
They just continue in the penny.
Some of it look at it as a shame.
Right.
Like, why you giving me that change? I
Right.
don't want no change.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Give
right.
me the change. Shit, I got a
Right.
whole jar.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But
Right.
that's what Esau don't want. He don't want you to where you can have loose money, go
Right.
change it. He
You don't
want
want
to
you to have
control
nothing.
everything.
You don't want you to have nothing that's physical.
Right.
So that's the whole thing with I was telling your brother, you don't have albums like CDs no more. Like you have to subscribe to an app
Bro,
to listen to music
you gotta you stream.
monthly. So you gotta pay monthly to listen to music. We used to get the physical copy for $10, $11, $12. You ain't got DVD no more.
Right.
You gotta find a DVD player.
Right.
Cars don't have CD players no more. Everything is being digitalized.
Right.
But that's why I look for digital. I was thinking about this. I got to look it up. Because everything is being digitalized. Money, music,
Carnival fairs.
everything is being
Everything.
digitalized.
Remember, you go to I went to took my seat to the carnival. Used to the tickets, paper
Right.
tickets.
Right.
You got wristbands. They
Wristband
scan it.
or card.
Or card.
This is how many points you got. This is how many tickets you got. But it's all digitalized.
All
Okay, everything has been moved to a digital face now. Right? Because everything is being tied into what? Traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was Esau saying a few years ago that the C19 was on $1? Remember
Right.
he was saying that it spreads through
Yeah.
$1 and shit.
Yeah.
Just more BS to switch it over to a paperless economy.
Right.
Yeah,
And guess what? We
can
for
tap
it.
and go.
We for it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because this is all part of the prophecy. All this has to come to pass for the MOTB got to come to pass. And then what's going to happen? The third woe.
Yep.
Okay? Because we looking forward to these things. So hell yeah, bring all that shit, man. Okay? Because we know that this dollar is going to be obsolete.
Hell
Okay?
yeah.
This old form of way of transaction. Okay? That shit is over with, man.
Yeah. Right.
Okay? Because only people that still pay with cash is the people, the older generation.
And it's hard down here. A lot of them, everything.
Yeah.
Like, they pay cash for every fucking thing.
That's how they get paid.
That's how they get paid cash, and they do everything cash.
And that's why they coming with that MOTB.
And
Because
then,
you ain't going to be able to get under the table.
yeah, with Cash App, now the restriction, you make a certain amount of money, we have to automatically give you an IRS form. Right? Hey, everybody can get away with under the table job. Or if they use the electrician for the city, and you want to do electricity work on the side, go to the cap cabinet. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Now, all that shit is being tracked now.
Yeah.
Hey, got that word digital?
I got it.
Oh, yeah.
If you got it, Greedy.
I got two definitions.
Oh, look up in the
I got
etymology.
it. I got it. Animal.
Yeah.
Okay. We go that
All right, so I'm gonna go to the simple. It says there's a simple definition of digital, and it says of relating to or utilizing devices constructed or working by the methods or principles of electronics, electronic digital devices, technology characterized by electronic and especially computerized technology.
Being computerized technology, everything is being computerized. You have to have the computer system there for the whole technocracy to work.
Yep.
Right. That's why you have the supercomputer and the AI through the computer in order for the technocracy to work. That's why everything's being moved to a digital space, so the computer can handle what the electronic device is recording and inputting into the electronic into the computer space.
That's right.
Then you got Elon Musk with all his database
Yep.
centers.
Yep.
One that was known right now is the one in Memphis, Tennessee.
It requires a lot of electricity and a lot of water. You need a lot of water to cool down the system
Right.
because it's overheat. That shit's gonna crash.
Yep.
All right.
And it's funny because why, out of all places, that was Memphis was the capital city in Egypt.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah.
Elon started it there
Yep.
because this is a place
Jesus.
spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah all over again.
Yeah,
right,
and
bro.
Memphis also starting to become another industrial hub. All right, a lot of stuff is being moved to Memphis. It's become a transport hub and all types of stuff going on in Memphis right now.
Yeah, bro. And this right here. This is a mini computer.
Right, you can scan stuff. You
Yeah.
can scan your ID to scan document now.
Yeah.
So what? To move to a digital space.
Right.
Now you're digitizing everything that you have.
Right.
That you don't need a driver's license no more.
Right.
You got it on your phone.
Right.
There's certain restaurants that don't even have an actual physical
Menu, right.
You got a
Yeah.
QR code that shit.
Yeah.
And then another thing that's coming out is now that AI is on the forefront, they're able now to perform surgeries through AI. So even that itself is moving digitalized from the convenient, a dude slicing you open and stuff. Now that one dude that got the C-hip in his brain and started hitting all those push-ups. I know Brock Allah did one, Muatazai, all brothers is doing, but he started off as a Fitbit tracking his heart. So it was something that was just supposed to track his, his heart rate, his blood pressure and stuff. But with convenience, he saw Edom being that serpent, like a boa constrictor. What does it do? Wait for the right time, bite you, and then it coils around you, and as you let the air out, it tightens up. That's what Esau does, through his convenience, is get everyone's brain, just use to that.
Gradually introducing a digital system. Right, with the premise and the basis of the MOTB. Right, the beat system is all based on this whole technology thing. That's why, like, for the thing like that tracker on your phone, the map, that you must be inside you, because you can become the IP address. No chip will have an IP address on it. You can get it. That's why you have to enter a body, enter a thing. All right, all the tracking in a digital space. Even though you're there physically, but you can be moved to a digital space. They're gonna track you. They're gonna trick you into a digital space. How much you can eat, how much you can buy. Why? Because you ain't able to buy or sell in that digital space unless they tell you so.
That's right. It's that data. Every time you go somewhere, they know where you go. Because especially if you go to a certain store, wherever you go, get certain things, they send that into your phone. They give you suggestions. Okay? And then they'll see how often you go to this certain place to where they'll start suggesting similar things to this particular area. Or you go, okay, we see you go here a lot. You might like this. Try this area. You know what I'm saying? So they know what you're aware about. It's all about control, man. That's what they're saying, that gradualism, that they're getting you conditioned to where you have that inside you. You don't have to, how people like to walk around looking down on their phone. You ain't about to do that. Right. It's all gonna be. It's in here. Right. It's gonna be total convenience. Yep. That's gonna get you destroyed though. Because in the scriptures, the Lord said those that take that, they gonna feel the full wrath of the Lord.
Yep. Full wrath. like you said, that data, that Greek word for grapple,
Yeah.
right? That record, man.
Yeah.
You got that digital and the analog.
Yep. This is the word digital in the etymon.com. It says mid-15th century, pertaining to numbers below 10, pertaining to fingers, finger or toe. It says using numerical digits is from 1938, especially of computers which run on data in a form of
Right,
digits.
because a computer, we go back to the computer encoding, everything is run off of numbers.
Yeah.
Zeros and ones and twos,
Yeah.
right? That's why coding is another thing to get into, right? But everything, like that picture you see, it all go like videos and stuff, all that go back to the coding of numbers, zeros and ones, zeros and ones.
That's what that movie, the Matrix is about.
Yeah.
See all the numbers.
All that numbers to read
Yeah.
it. It was just the coding that you have to read in real time, but it was after what's going on in the graphic digital space.
Yeah.
Where you have to input that coding,
Yeah.
right? The thing will pop up. Like YouTube, all that is built on the framework of coding.
Yeah.
All right? And that's how you're able to go live, because there's a code in there, and then video, the record, and then video in real time.
Right.
All at the same time. That's a hell of a code. Where do you get that from? The Lord. The
Yeah.
Lord gets that code.
Because that coding goes back to math.
Right.
When you have the grid, they're able to create a bending line as to a curved line or a straight line just based off the numbers that they put into an equation.
Right.
So now these AIs are able to paint like Picasso pictures because of the said mathematics that they're able to put into that coding system.
Yep. You got that pointer.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, so everything is being digitalized, because that zeros and ones is basically being uploaded into a digital space by using electronic devices.
Feel it at the prompts, man. Because say, right hand for it, you know, and the Jake, he even showed it, you know, that shit got put in his brain, man. See it.
He was like, welcome to 2025.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
And then China, I think China, they said they got the same thing, but it don't go inside your brain. It stands outside of your brain, making it more safe. So either way, don't take the shit.
Right.
Right. They show you that Black Mirror, the latest season. Yeah. That lady, she was like, I gotta pay more just to leave. And that's how it is. That's how it could be in the beat system. All right, that 15-minute smart city, you can't be able to leave. Then what? You can be disconnected from the link. That link, that AI system will be used to control everything. Yeah, I was watching this one of the new TV shows they got on Disney Plus with Star Wars. It's called what is it called? Golden or something like that. Basically, it was a city, and everything was run off of this AI computer. Alright? Because at the end of the day, they were like, oh, we gotta talk to basically the head guy. But they were like, oh, you can't see the head guy. But then they showed it later on, and several episodes later, the head guy was a fucking computer. He was a big ass fucking computer, and he was running electricity and everything. He was making an AI system that was controlling all the city and everything. And that's how he thought it was. He wanted everything to run off that AI technology. Where everything could be run through that AI computer. Electricity, food, water, power. That's why they move all these stuff, like the smart meter and stuff, to a digital space. So one thing is that AI system up and running, he thought he would sit back and watch. Alright, he just try to be in heaven like a leech. Yeah, man.
It's Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
That's going to that chip, man. You know what I'm saying? The dude was bringing out, he's talking about how, you know, that's because that's the mindset that Esau. You know, he's talking about your children. He really believes that this is going to go from generation to generation. You know what I'm saying? Just like at one point in time, like it was a time, you know how we got to go to the DMV and you got to do registration. You know, there was a time you didn't have to do that. It gradually led to this. So they think it's going to be the same way. It's going to be the new form of identification. All, you know, go down, get the see him. The only difference is, you know, just like with the everything with the physical document, you gotta do that shit yearly. they gonna be down with it. Yeah. Because they gonna be like, damn, I ain't gonna sit here and wait forever. I can just get a boom, insert it, bang, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like we're always saying, there's an agenda behind everything that this man does. Okay, it's sinister, man. Because it's all about controlling you, man. Having control of you. Okay? Fuck how he makes it, it's not for your good, man.
Right.
Right, bro?
It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
That's why it's going to require strong faith in that time, man. Because in order for you to sell, like how you see how people are walking around going from restaurant, store, and all that, if you ain't got that C-hip, you're not going to be able to do these things, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't going to be able to do these things like now at your convenience, man, at your own leisure. Okay? So that's why, you know, that's what we're doing spiritually, preparing ourselves, building ourselves up spiritually. When that time comes, we're going to totally rely upon the how about Shine, man.
Right.
Okay? Because we already know, if you take that mark, you already know what the judgment is, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Like the brother said, they can try to flip it. No, man. Don't take that shit, man. Regardless, man. Even if it means you have to be put to death. Fight for the Lord, strive for the truth unto the death, and the Lord shall fight for you.
Fight.
That's what the hopeful elect spirit is in.
Right.
Scripture say they love not their lives unto death.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they not gonna take that chip.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right, bro.
Regardless of the situation, they not gonna take it.
That's right.
And we're not here to think about life. Just say he that think life shall lose it.
That's right.
So
Right.
you might try to get hooked up with the beat system. All right, taking the MOTV, you're gonna lose your life.
Right.
Because
Right.
we know what the end game is. If you
Right.
take that, you're gonna get destroyed by fire.
That's right.
All right, by the lake of fire.
Right.
By Archidimital here in Babylon, the great with America.
That's
all right.
Right.
Not outside the land of Israel. Right
Right.
here where the fuck you at.
That's right.
And on to add on to that, Yahweh Shai said, but if you lose your life for my sake, the same shall gain it.
Right,
Yeah.
you try to find it.
That's
Well,
right.
we can find our
Yeah,
life
find
in
it.
your house shot.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right?
That's right.
By what? By being thrown here unto him for eternal life in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
That's why we're losing our life now, so we can find our life in your house shot, man.
That's right.
And we say, fuck this place.
That's right.
Those that take this chip ain't staying there.
That's
All
right.
They ain't have that same sentiment of saying, fuck this place.
That's
All
right.
right? Their attitude is, I still want to survive. I still want to live.
Right.
But you're going to lose your life at the end of the day.
That's right. That's why the Lord said, love not this world, neither the things that are in this world. Because if you attach to these things,
Right.
you're going to be seeking after those things. Okay? And when he said, those that shall lose their life shall find it, you're not going to be willing to lose your life if you attach to the things that are of this world. You know? Because Yahweh Shai is given, Lord willing, to the end, you've been given that spirit, okay, to test the things of this world, man.
You got to be the
Okay? Because a lot of these people out here, you know, they're giving over to their flesh. They're giving over to the things of this world, man.
Talk about the digital wisdom. It says in Numbers, it says, verse 18, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, but it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6.
Right, that's part of that barcode that you can see, that universal product code. Right, you can be part of that. You can be part of that. Right, because hey, at the end of the day, Esau views you as a product.
Yeah.
All right,
Cattle.
and he wants you to be part of that digital product footprint.
Right.
All right,
Right.
basically monitor the product, where it's going, what it's doing, what it's thinking, what it's awakening, all that stuff. And that beat system with the RFID chip.
Right, right. Because people don't understand, you know, I didn't use that term, the freedom. They're giving that up by giving themselves over to these devices, man.
Right.
Because back in the day, people had a little more, had a sense of privacy back then, man. You know, you didn't give everybody your fucking phone number, man. You know, everybody didn't know your fucking address. You know, but now through the phone, through all this technology, you know, people can actually find your address, man. They got sites. If they pay money, they can actually find your location where you live. You know? So, like you said, all this shit is all about control, man. It's technology. Yeah, we use it for our conveniences, and we understand the overall agenda behind it, man.
Right.
Like that's why Brother brought that scripture earlier. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man.
Right.
Okay?
Esau will tell you where you live at on the phone.
Right.
And you ain't even put it in where you stay at.
Right.
But in your map, you open it up, it's already there to say home. And so you click on it, it's like, damn, how the hell you know where I stay at?
Right.
You know?
Even when you use a debit card, your address is connected to your debit card. You know what I'm saying? Because your zip code is attached to your debit card, man. So when you're making a purchase online, right, and your card information automatically comes up, your address will automatically pop up because your address is associated with your debit card. And it's all associated with what? Google. Okay? So there's things, when you use Google got all that shit is all connected, man. With your email address, everything, man. You know, that's that gradualism that's gonna lead to that chip. That's it. Except that chip is gonna be in person. Right?
I got some.
You know what I'm saying? Because just like with the SSI, Social Security, that's how they were able to track, the Social Security. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna need the actual document, man.
Right.
Physically, man. Because they trying to find a way to do away. Because see what happened when that scamdemic went down. You had all these people filing for EDD. They had a fucking system crash because the offices couldn't handle. They were being overwhelmed with so many applications that the fucking system crashed, man. So they're making it. They're doing things to where to making things more convenient. You know. So now you ain't gotta bring a physical application. Everything is online now. You go to the DMV, shit. I remember as a kid, I had to go, you got to go to your hands and shit. You used to be in that motherfucker for hours, damn near the whole day. Yeah. Now you in there for maybe 30 minutes, tops. You know what I'm saying? Because they're digital, man. Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead.
The image is the lifestyle of Esau, man, his system, his ways. Because when you take that chip, you're basically saying that you're down with this man's system, you're down with the ways of this man's living, man. Okay, you're down with all this homosexuality, this bestiality, you're down with all of it, man. Go ahead.
Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture.
That's ultimately those missiles, man. Okay? But the Lord, he's going to bring a series of plagues and judgments out here. Like it says in the Bible, man. A lot of our people are going to be caught up in these torments. The Lord's going to torment you, man. Okay? Famine. Okay? All these different diseases, pestilence out here, man. They're already talking about a new C19 strand.
Yeah.
Right. I have posted it in the group chat. I don't know if you brother saw it. They said we shouldn't be fearing China. We should be worried about the enemy from within.
Yeah.
What is that talking about? It's another T-TAC right around the corner.
Right.
Because they blame the C19 on them.
Right.
And China said it didn't come out of Wuhan. It came from America.
Right. Right.
America was funding all that shit, all the different countries.
Yeah. Right. And Babylon been poisoning the people here. The food you eat is poison. The food we eat, the chemicals they put in the food, the shit they put in the water, it's all poison, man. That's not good. Good.
Alcohol, it's all poison.
Yeah. Chemtrails and shit, you know. So, that's all a part of because Esau wants you sick because a lot, that's what all this pharmaceutical is set up, to get profit off of people's sickness, man.
Right.
That's why they want to get rid of TikTok because a lot of people are starting to get hip to the holistic way of living, man. They're not rely upon that over-the-counter pharmaceutical shit, man. A lot of people are starting to realize all that shit is a scam, man.
Right. You even had who was that? John F. Kennedy nephew.
Robert F. Kennedy.
He took that shit off the shelf. The damn V. He took that shit off the shelf.
Yeah.
So-called. So it's infighting between that.
Right.
You know
what I'm saying? Because a lot of them Edomites are getting starting to realize all this bullshit that's going on, man. So now, like you said, they got that inner war among them, and that's also prophecy. Okay, where you're gonna have these people with sedition among men. Okay, because a lot of these Edomites they being oppressed too. You know what I'm saying? They a lot of them starting to lose their jobs. Okay, they starting to realize the American dream is just what it is. It's a dream.
right.
Okay, it's not a reality, man. The good times here, you see a lot more videos of people talking about how bad it is than how good it is, man.
Yeah.
People are not happy, man.
You even had the CEO, J.P. Morgan, said the economy is going to crash.
Right.
He said the economy is going to crash.
Right.
A man that's foresees it.
Right.
And we already see it.
Right.
Like,
right. You had economists that been saying that shit for years.
Yep.
How Babylon is circling the drain, especially with dealing with this money here, this so-called money here. Okay. And we see it how throughout the decades,
not really.
valuing this debt notes, this FRNs, we're starting to see the tail end of that, man. We're starting to see the lowest of the value of the dollar that's ever been.
Right.
Okay.
We see it through when we go out and shop.
Yeah.
You see it when you go purchase a car, purchase food.
Yeah.
That's inflation right there. The dollar don't mean shit.
Hyperinflation.
It takes more dollars and pennies and $20 bills to get what you want.
Right.
Because the dollar don't mean nothing no more.
Because they constantly printing money, okay, which adds more debt. Because that's why you think it's called a debt note. Because if it was no dollar, it wouldn't be no debt.
Right.
Because that shit was created to keep people in debt, keep you in servitude, man. Keep you at those jobs, okay? Because you gotta work 10 hours. You got people working 10, 11, 12-hour shifts. That's to make it equivalent what people made 20-something years ago, working 8 hours.
Right. With a college degree.
Right.
You got a college degree on top of
PhD.
it, and they in debt.
Right.
And they doing DoorDash.
Right.
This place is done, man.
Right.
That
That
was-
pay off.
Right.
Yep.
That was supposed to be the American dream. You get your doctorate degree, PhD,
Right.
and you live the American dream. You can't do that no more.
No.
You go to college, you signing yourself up for death.
I want to take over.
Oh, con.
Let me get that precept.
Yeah, drop the precept.
This is second Esdras. Let me start at the top or just go straight to
You can whatever.
Second Esdras 15 and verse 15. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." It says, "For there shall be
Race wars, food riots. It's gonna be worse than fucking what they had them discounts, Black Friday sales. When it ain't no food, you see how them people was trampling over TVs, stereos. Imagine when there's no food, when your kids ain't eating, when everybody's starving. People when people lose it like Joseph, they say they lose it, and we gonna see it a time like never before when there ain't no food. You see China, right? You don't see nothing at the ports. There ain't nothing at the ports. So this thing is surely what you call it, that grinding, it came to a screeching halt. We just gotta wait for the months to roll out. Just like the slamdemic, all the shelves was low. It's the same thing is coming back.
Verse 16 it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power."
Right. People, hey, when society breaks down, when there's lawlessness, people they gonna use what they got. Weapons. Oh, okay, bear with us, Akian. We gotta move.
Keep it rolling. Keep it live. You gotta move down a spot. Yeah.
Lord, Yahweh is the mediator for us between Yahweh. You can't get to the Father. I don't believe in Yahweh Shai. I believe in Yahweh. It don't work that way. You can't get to the Father without going through the Son. That is the mediator. Yahweh Shai can't come.
You put it over here. Right here. All right, we gotta move location real quick to appease, these business owners.
Trying to move over a little bit more.
That's perfect.
Shade.
That's fine. That's it.
Second verse 15.
We start with
Revelation 13.
Yeah.
Keep it going. 13.
We was on 15, but it kind of switched it. We was on 14. I didn't finish. Okay. Was speaking. But I took over.
Just bring it out.
I'm gonna bring out 14. Back in Revelations chapter 14, verse 10, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation."
Those are the ones who receive that see him, man. Yeah. Okay. And that's why the Lord has it heavy, the Spirit heavy, on apostles, elders on down here at Great Millstone, any affiliates to go into that, man. Okay, so you ain't gonna have no excuse. Because when all these things come to pass, okay, you wanna remember what the men of the Lord have been saying this whole time, man. Okay.
You shall be known the prophet has been amongst us.
Yep.
They think we out here just to get some sun, enjoy LA and Sherman Oaks. No, we ain't out here for our help. We out here for our salvation.
Yeah. Right.
But this is a serious matter.
That's right.
We didn't take out the time of our Saturday. We could have been doing anything.
All right.
All types of shit in this world, but the Lord chose us to do this.
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai chose us to do this, man.
That's right. We're young men.
Yeah.
Hey, we could be out here chasing women, chasing the money, right? Being some hobby, or whatever. A lot of hobby is on Saturday,
Right.
Like, so, hey, and that's why I said, seek the Lord in thy youth, right, as a young man.
That's right.
Yeah? But some of us came in as older, but that was a point of time to wait. Back in the day, the Lord wants you at a young, vibrant age, distracted from society, right? Distracted from the world, because the world is taking up all these young men. Look at them, they young, YN, they in jail, they dead, right? They transformer, they mold. So that's why the Lord wants you to youth before you get corrupted by this world, right? But a lot of these kids are already corrupted,
right?
But by the grace and power of Yahweh outside, we've been pulled out of that world, and guess what? We're serving the Lord now.
That's right. That's right, and this is a labor of love, man. We love doing this, man. Okay, this ain't no burden to us. Okay, we love, like the brother said, we could have been doing, but hey, we love doing this, man. Okay, and we're gonna continue to do this through the Spirit of power, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, to the end. Right. This is all of the Lord. It's not of us.
Right.
know?
Right. Lord said, hate not laborer's work.
Yep.
This is a work of labor.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Lord said he wouldn't forget our labor of love, which we have shown towards his name.
That's right.
You're not going to forget what we do. Like, we make a sacrifice. Like, literally, like Elder Malcolm was saying in Chicago, we're literally risking our lives and our freedoms to come out here.
Right.
We can look
at that. Hazard. Get that real quick.
Paul and Sylvanus, men that have hazarded their lives.
Yeah, hazard their lives.
Meaning you put yourself in dangerous situations.
Yeah.
We put ourselves in a dangerous situation when we out here teaching. When the slamdemic happened, we were still out there. They took off the mask on or you get locked up. We didn't care.
Right.
You know, so what?
Right. Yeah. And I just cut that bullshit at one body talking about, oh, don't be on that corner. And now we just walk up to people. That's not what the ministry is about.
Right.
You know, the ministry is about being on the highways and hedges, being for marriage. You don't do that by walking up to each individual person and telling them about the Lord. All right? It's not like the worldly Christian. All right? Got it? Yeah,
Scripture say thy eyes shall see thy teachers. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Lord said, go into the cheap place of concourse.
Right.
Where everybody is shopping. You see all the nations, even the heathens, because you got to tell them too.
Right.
You know, even
among the heathen.
Among the heathen, everybody. You got to put yourself out there in the highways.
Acts chapter 15, verse 26. It said, Acts 15 and 26, it says, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord, Yahushua and Mashiach.
We have hazarded our lives for the name of Yahushua. All right? Hey, we had top water on the floor. We had Crip Blood trying to shoot us in downtown LA. All right, anything could have happened to us. People caught the street downtown LA, throwing egg and shit at us.
Threatening to fucking blow us away with an AR-15 in the middle of the street.
Yeah, came up with a knife. All type of stuff. That's putting your life on the line. That's living hazardously.
Even the apostles and elders, they explained the time during 9/11, they got arrested.
Yeah, that's
hazardous. You know what I'm saying? Like they was dealing with that way back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know that time, the time that we coming to, that's really, it's gonna be going to a whole nother level, man. Because you're gonna have men of the Lord that are gonna be hazardous. I mean, what's the word? Martyrs.
Yeah.
That was some of the time. Martyrs. You know, for this thing, man, and for the testimony of Yahushua, man.
Yeah, look what happened in the time past. They were believing for one thing and another. There was an uproar in the city of Diane. Right. The Queen of Heaven worship.
Right.
See, but that ain't happened yet, but that's, at any point in time, people come up to us and harm us. Right. And that whole time, at that one time, we want to get the Pharaoh, we want to get the so-called Polynesian, right? They talk about green light. Ain't shit happened.
Right.
The next day, he was still out there preaching.
Right.
Still, talking down on it. It ain't insignificant. Yeah, they're gonna go into slavery, but at this time, at point in time, the Japs are insignificant at this time right now. Right? They are all butter and they feeling, but guess what? They ain't called it a hit on us. They ain't happened to us. That's when your life on the line. That's living hazardously, man.
No life, whole life.
Yeah.
He talked about he was gonna sick the Bloods and Crips on us. That shit never didn't happen. And we in the gang state.
Right.
That shit didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know?
All that shit is ancient activity, man.
Yeah.
You know, and once again, that's why you don't see us out here with no goddamn firearms, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You ain't gonna see us out here interviewing goddamn gangbangers, man. Okay? Trying to convert gang members.
Right. That's like Yahushua was on the thing and he giving talking to the members of the Kari and stuff. Hey, you want to convert? Nah. He went out there and ministered and some of them heard and he had some that believed. He had some that was the Kari on the different set and they believed. But it wasn't on an individual level or every individual go to this person. Nah, it was Yahushua went out there to preach, man. And we doing the same thing. I was the highway, the byway, in front of everybody.
That's right. Just like,
every time he had a freeway disappear.
right. Just like in St. John, man. My sheep hear my voice.
Right.
Now, if you got a Jake that's caught up into their lifestyle, you know, if they're of the Lord's sheep, ultimately they're gonna depart from that
Right.
anyway. You know, they're gonna come in, but it's not gonna be because you pull that person to the side. That's of the Lord's will, man.
And then try to talk to any level.
You know, because at the end of the day, us that's out here, the Lord had to give us that spirit to receive this word, man.
Yeah.
Because we could have easily been like the rest of these people out here, heard the word and kept it moving, man. You know, the Lord got to give you that to receive this, man.
Yeah. You got more than that?
Where it has this is the you wanted the blue or Edamon? I got both.
Yeah.
Word in the Edamon for hazard is name of a game at dice. Game of chance played with dice. A throne of 6 and dice. Uncertain origin. It says
And when you play with dice, you gamble. Okay? You
They cast a lot.
Yeah, that's a risk.
Yeah.
Risk taking.
And Captain Lot, it's all about rolling dice.
That's a hazard.
Captain Lot, that's hazard.
Right.
You don't know how it's gonna play out. You don't know if it can be good or bad.
Right. Hey, you had that rapper, Big L, back in the day, he had a song called The Casualties of a Dice Game.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? Because you know, back then, you know, Jake used to get killed
Yeah.
over those dice games, man. You know, to this
Still,
day.
still.
You know? So that's basically, you know, but we're doing it spiritually, you know?
Right.
You know, of course, you know, we understand, you know, anything can happen to us by coming out here, but ultimately, with the ones that fear the Lord and serve the Lord, they're going to be protected, man.
Right.
You know, because even the brothers that do become martyrs, they're going to be risen first, man.
Yeah.
You know, and we have had brothers pass on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And their works follow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, you know, it's a win-win to serve the Lord, man. I mean, yeah, we take L's in the society, but ultimately, you know, we're winning. We're winning.
Right.
In the end, you know, Lord willing, we be those men to the very end.
Right. We are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
We conquered.
Yep.
That's right, bro.
Think about that in the scripture where we throw a coin, basically.
Yeah, Captain Lot.
Cast it
Yeah,
out.
cast it out.
Crosses all contention and sin.
Basically, leaving it in the Lord's hand.
Yep.
Right? You have a decision that you kind of difficult to make. That's us out here. Our faith is in the Lord's hand when we come out here. Right? So we're not worried about what the fuck is happening. Who can roll up on us.
Right.
We can just let it play out.
Right.
That's doubt. The Lord don't like doubt.
It's
He
the
don't.
scripture that
That's
we had a scripture that be confident in the Lord.
Yeah.
the scriptures say, what's that? Anything that's without faith is sin or something like that. Because if you don't have faith, you basically in sin, man.
Yeah.
And not fearing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. When
Yeah.
you distrust him, you basically sinning. Like, you
Right.
don't believe the Most High will deliver you.
Right.
You make calling him a liar, basically.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't believe. And you showing it through your works. Like, I
Right.
don't think you're gonna save me. I'm gonna go back into the world. You calling the Most High a liar.
Right.
You know?
Without faith, it's impossible to please him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what Yahushua, he left that prayer, Father's prayer with the disciples. This is how the mindset you should think day unto day. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's how we keep ourselves being overwhelmed by the sorrows of this world. You know, like bills, you know, I'm gonna get through this month, you know, I'm gonna pay this, I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna get through that. You know, that's why the Lord left us with that prayer. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately the Lord didn't bring us here to be goddamn living it up here, man. You know, this is a punishment, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course we do what we have to do, but we can't get caught up into all that, man, because ultimately we're prisoners of Yahweh Shai. We're bond to this word.
Yep.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right, we can't be that. Yeah. You know what? Go ahead, bro. I'll do this.
It says an unfortunate card or throw a dice. I'm gonna jump down, and it says chance in gambling.
Yeah.
All right, that's chance in life. Chance of loss or harm, a risk.
Risk, harm,
Yeah.
risk of being harmed, because we can be harmed. You know, because a lot of people, the world don't like what we say. Guess what? We don't give a shit. Okay? And see, and I'm speaking this way. This is the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. Because in the world, I couldn't speak.
Right.
Bro. I used to get nervous when the teachers they read this. You know, they get nervous and shit.
They will come out boldly in the spirit of the Lord.
You know what I'm saying? This is spirit of Yahweh Shah, man.
In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence.
Right.
That's where the confidence comes from, because we fear the Lord.
And conquer me with faith.
With faith.
That's right. That's right. Just like with Moses.
Yeah.
Moses, he had to
Speak.
speak. You know, the Lord said, I'm going to send your brother Aaron with you. But you know, Moses, he still had to have that spirit of boldness because he did what the Lord commanded him to do.
Right.
You know? And it's the same thing with us, you know what I'm saying? You know? Of course, you know, we men in the flesh, we get those thoughts, we get those fears sometimes, man. Okay? But it's the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of Yahweh Shah is the inspiration, man.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fire.
We always revert back to the scriptures. You know,
Yep.
it always tell us, like he says, have not given us the spirit of fear.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's sound mind.
All the
Down mine.
Yep.
He didn't give us the spirit of fear. And he that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Right.
I can tell you in John. So if you fearing, you don't believe the Heavenly Father love you like that.
Right.
You know?
Don't have the fear of the Lord.
That's right.
You know, of course, the fear of him that can destroy the body and soul in hell.
Right.
Don't fear him that can destroy the body.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what's getting ready to come down on this planet, you know what I'm saying? Even Esau out here, he gonna be fucked up, man. All these people out here gonna be fucked up, man. These people, that's why it says weeping of gnashing of teeth. Okay?
Right. Like, hey, when persecution comes,
Yep.
that's putting your life on the line. Right? The very thing of saying that you're a Hebrew Israelite, you already put yourself in a hazardous way.
Yep.
Right? Being monitored, being watched,
Yep.
right? Being surveilled, all those things.
That's
all right?
right.
That's why I think it started the sanctuary, that those that believe.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
It ain't about just those that out here on the street. It's everybody that proclaim themselves to call themselves a Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
All right, but you in the I'm a no camp Israelite,
Right.
or I go to this one church Israelite.
Right.
Nah, all of us is life on the line.
That's right. You gotta come out here to the streets, man. Okay? To the chief place of concourse,
Right.
man.
Everybody can see you.
Now we do lessons in our homes, but you gotta come out here, man.
Yeah.
Okay?
But that's how you put yourself on. Yeah, you're not putting yourself out on the line. How you put yourself on living sacrifice?
Right.
You can't be a TikTok prophet either, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You own a
TikTok prophet, big old prophet.
YouTube comment board prophet. You can't. The Lord ain't gonna save you if you put precepts on brother videos. You gotta go out there, man.
That's right.
You gotta go out there and get the salvation yourself. Yeah, that's cool, bro. You can put precepts to a
Right.
brother video. No, get your ass out and
Right.
always
Put
and
your
always,
talents on
man.
us, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Go
know,
that same.
candlestick.
Right. Go put that same precept that you put in that comment and go teach it.
Well, you're able to do that. You can do that much. You know.
Right. That's what we did.
That's right. That's what we started with.
Yeah.
Watchmen, man. He have set up watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem, man.
Right, that's part of speaking up. By you commenting on live shows and on brother videos, that's part of you part of the watchman now. It's
Right.
like you're a preaching, right? You're starting to learn what a watchman is. Okay, that is I can say what this is the scripture. I can link it up. Now you're starting to learn and start putting the two together.
Right.
And the Lord is gonna hold you accountable too. Because
Yeah.
the Lord knows what He's giving you. Now you gotta go sell it. You
Yeah.
gotta go sell it and put it out as bait for the elect now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta live by these scriptures, man. You gotta apply these scriptures,
Yep.
man. Okay? Because when you out here preaching, you know, you gotta live by it, man. Not saying
Right.
we're gonna be perfect, but you gotta put that effort in, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You actually have to give that effort and turning your life around and serving the Lord, man.
Right.
Okay? Don't be no nigga, you know, during the week, man. You know, you out here speaking against Esau, and then during the week, okay, you being a low life ass nigga, man.
Yeah, 'cause that shit gonna get revealed.
Right.
Oh yeah, the brother ain't know this. You know, I live in another city. You brother ain't gonna never know about this.
Right, right.
And it's always gonna come to bite your ass at the end of the day. Always.
Right.
We're thinking from the spirit.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Us people, brother, we've been around for a minute. we done eat it and heard it all, man.
Right.
But it's like, man, this dude was a nigga the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know he was like that.
Right.
Sure enough, charring his ass out.
Because brothers got spirit. Brothers can discern, man. Brothers might not say nothing, but just because brothers don't say nothing, don't mean shit ain't not being observed, man.
Right.
You know, you out here being a damn demon. You out here being rebellious. That shit is going to eventually you gonna get your ass. The spirit gonna fulfill you and get your ass up out of here, man.
What's done in the dark gonna come to light.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, complete.
I had a quick one, man. Let me see. This is Romans 8:31. It says, What shall we then say these things that the Most High be for us, who can be against us?
Right. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're not speaking our own words. We're speaking the words that's out of this book, out of the scriptures, man. You know. So that's why when we come out here, you know, we brother read the scriptures. We expound on the scriptures. Okay. Now you might hear brothers say a few so-called curse words here and there. All in all, the message is not lost.
Right.
Okay? Those of you that get hung up on these fucking curse words, that's because the Lord blinded you, man.
Right.
Okay? That's a stumbling block. The Lord is using that, and that's your stumbling block, man. Because we said fuck or shit.
These people are fucking hypocrite, man. Because they'll go ahead and the same few seconds listen to some rap, say bitches and hoes and trick and all types of shit.
Right.
Well, they want to get offended about, oh, we got a Bible in here.
They use their language against their own children.
Yeah.
Yo.
Shit, in traffic, somebody cut them off.
Right.
Hey,
Fuck you, you know?
Tell their kids don't use that word. They can discuss it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Step on their fucking cuss. You know? But that just goes to show you, because that's how Esau will train the mind of these people. They teach these people not to question anything, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why these people go to schools. You gotta raise your hand and talk, you know, and ask the teacher a question and shit. And a lot of these teachers, they don't know shit either. You know, they just getting a fucking paycheck, man. You know, so a lot of them, they you know, these universities like brothers going into earlier, man. A lot of these degrees, these teachers get shitty salaries, man. They go to all these schools, all these classes, put all this time in, only to get a so-called degree, and then they become a teacher and get a shitty ass salary, and they don't even work all the year.
And you gotta do with these fucking attitude and shit. Hell no, you ain't paying enough.
Right.
You ain't paying enough. I'm sorry, you ain't paying enough.
Right.
That's why they've been walking out of schools lately.
right, they fighting students and shit.
Right. That's why these Edomite teachers, they don't put up with J shit, because they already underpaid, they aggravated, then they gotta deal with these niggas, these kids. That's why they call them Jake. They be teachers. They go on the tirade, start calling Jake monkeys and niggas. Because Esau aggravated, because they know everything that they know all this shit in this society is all smoke and mirrors, man. That so-called American dream, I'm gonna keep saying it is a dream, man. Okay, because that shit is not real.
And you gotta be what? You gotta be a believer. You gotta be a darkness to believe that shit. Man.
Right. That dude George Carlin said that shit years ago in his stand-up,
Yeah,
man.
George Carlin.
You know?
The average American see the American dream is bleak. It ain't no more.
Right.
Ain't no American dream no more. That shit is.
It's a nightmare.
That shit's every time somebody wake up, they dealing with some shit.
Right.
So that dream is no longer a dream. People dealing with problems now.
Yeah, bro.
They dealing with problems on problems. That dream phased out, man.
You notice when you look at films from the 1950s, you see those pictures like those Edomite smiling and shit. Those rosy cheeks.
Ear to ear.
You see the rosy cheeks and shit.
The physique.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody happy and shit. The soldiers happy. Everybody smiling and shit, you know?
Not no more.
You know what I mean? Now Esau like, fuck! You know, I'm gonna kill myself.
Your whole family in itself.
Right. Motherfuckers blowing their heads off and shit. Some people you got people out there committing suicide on the lives and shit.
The whole family taking out the kids and then themselves.
Yep.
Edomites doing that.
Well, LAPD just got all they
under, I forgot what lady it was, but they keep suicide. All of them.
Yeah.
Suicide.
What is it, self-unalive?
Underline, that's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Due to a woman, but being like the chief,
Cheap, yeah.
it's always a woman ruining shit.
Hey, women are, man, women are fucking problem, man.
Hey,
Like I did like an hour overtime at work. I was considering getting off at 12:30 to 11:30. Like I can do one more hour. Until the black bitch came out, like, oh yeah, that's confirmed. I ain't staying another hour. But you just ruined it. Everybody doing their job. This black bitch, oh, so you come here, you like big really know what the fuck to do.
That's
And you want to
nasty.
come in here and interrupt everybody's pee just so you can open your fat ass mouth and tell us what to do and then walk away.
Right.
Now you got everybody irritated now.
That's right.
that's why all the jobs is gone. A lot of these black women getting fired from your job. These database jobs, these administration jobs, your ass is getting fired now because your attitude, man.
Yeah, bro.
Nobody don't like dealing with the black woman attitude, man.
That's right. That's
Bitch
why
got
when
an
all
attitude.
hell breaks loose, they gonna get a foot up their ass, man.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
what
I'm saying?
Yeah.
they were saying when that Doge came through. The main person that got fired was the black woman.
But she a fucking problem, man.
She's a
My
problem.
own, because the black bitch I'm talking about, she's part of the night shift. But my own manager don't even give me no problem. Guess what she is? A fucking Edomite woman. Don't give me no fucking problem.
Exactly, bro.
Then this nigga woman come in,
That's what
First
happened.
Fuck.
to Esau.
whole world turned upside down.
That's what happened to me last week. I left early. This fat ass black bitch gonna come up to me trying to get me in trouble. I said, you know what I mean? Let me get the fuck out of here. That's a sign of safety.
Yeah.
Satan.
Hey, the code word for her when she come around is 5-0. We come around, I yell out 5-0.
Make sure.
Everybody dispersed.
Talk baseball.
Cause she a fucking problem. She the only one in the building that wanna implement shit. Everybody else is okay with what's going on.
They're not even going by the book. She
Yeah.
want you to abide by the book. Like, no, bitch, everybody else ain't following the rules. You know?
That's why you got to hide and call off on your shift. Nobody wanna deal with your ass.
Right.
Ecclesiasticus 25 and 23. A wicked woman evaded the courage, making heavy countenance and the wounded heart. A
Yeah,
woman
wounded heart is the mind. They get y'all all uneasy. Here you're having a good day, and then toward the end of your shift or overtime, it's all fucked up and ruined because this bitch gonna come into play.
Right.
Say something wrong.
Right. Right. That's why a lot of these black women, you know, they remain single.
Undesirable. That's undesirable. That's what she is. And these other women, they fucking love her, man.
Right.
These Asian women, I was watching the videos, man, these Asian women like, black man, Chuck, ooh, I love her.
Yeah, bro.
You asked a black woman that she fuck that nigga. That nigga don't do shit.
Right.
Cause
Right.
she treat us like shit.
Right.
You know?
Right. Average heathen women, they actually walk up to you and ask you how your day. Like the nigga woman don't say, the nigga woman eat scowl, bro. The bitch one don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's rare that a so-called black woman actually say, hey, they ain't happy.
You the older woman ain't doing that shit.
Right.
You the older woman like,
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
Granny, the hell? You got your nose turned back. What the fuck I do to you?
Right.
She walking around with spandex on with her old ass.
That's how I be watching. Sometimes do it to bear on me. But most of the time, I let these bitches struggle, man. I let these bitches struggle for
Right.
the door,
Right.
struggle when they got in their hand. Fuck you and stay away from me,
Right.
man.
Right.
Like that one kid. Oh, I'm married. I'm married. I can't go. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all bitches, man.
Yeah.
Right. And y'all play games.
That's right.
Here it is, we can just be saying hi, and you take that, don't take me out.
Right.
I don't even want to take you out.
Right. Right, bro.
Half of them look like catfish.
Yeah, it look like a catfish, a brown
Built
board.
like a whole sofa.
Brown board, catfish, and hippo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It says a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees.
And that's why a lot of these niggas kill themselves. Alright? You're not being a comfort, you're being a fucking nightmare.
Right.
You're not even being an asset, you're a liability. You're a liability and nightmare, man.
Right.
You're a nightmare in the flesh.
Right.
And these niggas are killing themselves, they gotta deal with their nightmare ass.
Right.
What did Solomon say? I'd rather dwell on a housetop
Yeah.
than to dwell with a wicked woman.
Yeah.
Right. And they know our plight. They know the plight of the so-called black man. They know all the hell we gotta catch, all the shit we gotta go through, all the shit we gotta put up in this society. Hey man, to be a Jake man, especially a so-called Negro man, you gotta have a strong mind in this fucking society, man.
Yeah.
Because people are always testing you, always trying you. You know, like what was going into earlier, that stigma they put on this. You know what I'm saying? The angry black man, you ain't coming in that hard kissing this man's ass. You know what I'm saying? They gonna make your life difficult here. And then on top of that, all women, the so-called black women, trying to make your life as miserable as they possibly fucking can, man.
Yeah,
It's like they get off on that shit.
Yeah, here it is, you know, deal with the fucking world against you, and then you're gonna come home. The last thing you want is heat, quiet, heat, and maybe a plate of food. Maybe, but you can't get none of it. And I can see you come home with a plate of food and maybe it's some bickering, but hey, at least I got a plate of food. But you ain't getting none of that shit.
Right.
That's why I don't do like I'm gonna live alone.
Right.
That's why guys stay in their car, stay overtime.
Right.
All right, hoping the bitch is asleep by the time you get home.
Right.
By the time you get home,
Yeah.
there ain't no peace at the house.
That's why Jake be fucking with these white women. You know what I'm saying? Because these so-called white women, at least they'll talk to you, man. They'll have a conversation with you.
They
you
rub
know?
your head,
Yeah, bro.
pour your glass of water,
You know, bring
rub your
food.
feet.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And see the nigga woman, they'll watch this, see, that's fuck you niggas, you know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. You
Yeah.
know, you got other black women now, they coming out making videos exposing these black women, man. Speaking about how you bitches are, man.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the black woman for her service, even in a relationship. You gotta pay her for any type of service. You gotta give some money.
Hey, that's,
If it ain't dealing with any type of money, she ain't listening to you.
that's why you're undertired.
And all these women are wired like damn near all of them are wired. Not all of them, but damn near all of them.
That's why you're undesirable. Because nobody want her.
You see, this is why the Lord is going to bring heavy judgment in the society because everything is out of fucking order, man. Okay? A woman ain't supposed to be getting in a man's face, man. A woman's not supposed to usurp authority over a man. But see, in this society, it's not just all women, it's all these women, man. You know, that's that spirit here in Babylon. It's all about the upliftment. That's why they always talking about woman empowerment, man. A woman ain't supposed to have no goddamn power, man. A woman's supposed to be submit to her husband. She's supposed to be submissive, man.
Right.
You know, but see, in this society, they flipped it. A man's supposed to submit to a woman. You know what I'm saying? But see, but nothing park on these fucking women. You know, because their judgment is coming.
Right.
This is all a part of the reason why many reasons why this place is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, many upon many reasons.
Go ahead, bro.
I got something.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away.
And we see that, man. The state of this earth is low, man. Okay? That's why, you know, when you look at the fruit, okay, they got seedless fruits. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is a seedless grape? What the fuck is a seedless watermelon, man?
Right. I went to damn Sprouts. You would think going to Sprouts is the right produce. I got a mini watermelon. I thought it was seeded. I got home, that shit that had white seeds in it. I'm looking for the black seeds. Like,
Right.
Basically, you come on watermelon, they're making you female watermelon. That's what they tell you female watermelon. They're not telling you the male watermelon that has people.
That's crazy.
It's all a fucking employed to, not to produce for your own.
Right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you don't have no fucking seeds in the watermelon.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell is this?
Right.
It's all Frankenstein ass watermelon. And that's
Right.
damn near a lot of fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oranges, apples,
Yeah.
fucking
All
all
the
of
people are
them.
labeled men.
Yeah.
They ain't even at their truthful side. They
Right.
look at a cluster of grapes like a fucking basketball.
Yeah, strong
Now
man
it's
carry.
one grape was like a size of a basketball. So just imagine two men holding a cluster of grapes.
Strong.
We were
Yeah.
much bigger,
Yeah.
taller, heavier, fruit bigger, the earth was more cleaner, way taller,
Yeah.
we lived longer. We are at the earth last stage right now in age.
Right,
You know?
the earth not even vibrant no more.
Right.
It ain't like vibrant, like in the 90s, like growing up, the earth was like more like vibrant. Like everything was like more greener. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but you just like it was more vibrant. It had more of a
Light.
vibrant, more light to it.
Yeah.
Everything is all just it's a tree,
Yeah.
but it's like
You turn this world to a concrete jungle.
You got sinkholes just
Right.
popping up here, popping up there, going up here.
Right.
That shouldn't be happening.
Right.
You know, only in Esau's world that's happening.
Right. Because he broken the covenant. You know, he doesn't adhere to
Keep
the
the-
ordinances
yeah.
of the scriptures.
Land side.
Right. He don't like the land. That's why the soil is not as fertile as it once was. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, look at this shit right here. You need a fucking drill to get them in there, man.
and then all the cigarette bud
Right.
around each
Filth,
point.
right?
Right, California used to be filled with topsoil. The soil should be damn near dark brown at the time. You know, the deeper it go, the more brown it is.
Right.
That shit is a tin ash. Ain't
It
that
is
shit-
hard. The ground is hard. That's why in my garden I don't even do nothing in the ground. Everything is above ground because there's no topsoil in California.
Right.
All right. Then you got that drought. All right, with the Lord though, the Lord perfectly trying to place down, man.
Right.
Cause it used to be more vibrant.
Right.
We had like a 30-year drought,
Yep.
20-year drought.
The grass, we used to, I remember back when I was young, you used to step in the grass, it'd be
It used to be a
soft.
little wet.
Yeah.
It used to be a
soft.
little moist.
You damn near sink in that
We used to
motherfucker.
play in the ground.
That shit, you know?
You know?
But now, that shit hard, it ain't the same.
The grass is all
You might have certain places in America where it's still a little soft, but as a whole, it's defiled. America's defiled.
Yeah, bro.
That's why it gotta be the Lord.
Get this real quick. This is California's largest lake dried up. California's largest lake, Tulare Lake, dried up in the late 1800s due to human intervention, specifically the diversion of its tributary rivers for agriculture, irrigation, and municipal water usage. Basically, Esau did it to make, money, straight up, and fund his little cities that he was building at that time. And that's why California in particular has such rich soil going up more to the middle California.
Right.
Because Esau.
Yeah, because the Central California used to be a big ass lake. All right, the Central Valley, they made canals and they drained that shit to the fucking ocean. That's like all that farmland in Central California.
You see,
All right, and it's a huge valley. Like Fresno, all that shit was one water. All right, like put them for water, we thought drain that shit out to what? To build up the agriculture.
and where was all that water at when the Palisades was on fire?
Right.
We right on the coast. That shit, Esau, man. He could. Ain't no such thing as a famine of water. Esau's controlling the fucking water, man.
Yeah.
There's
That's right,
springs and shit all around, man.
That's right. That's right,
They
bro.
got all these bureaucrats controlling the fucking water.
Right.
Goddamn dam. Esau made a dam.
And like a couple years ago, we had a conserved water. They was talking everywhere. Don't use water at this time to this time. And then you gotta pay more on your water bill. You know? It's all the damn devil. Here it is, fucking water is a element that's just there naturally.
Right.
And here it is, motherfuckers come in and control it and restrict how much water you can use. And then charge you to use the water.
Right.
But close the beaches. I ain't gonna tell me I can't go to the beach right
Right.
now.
Right. Right.
That's a God-given right. It's the destroy the land.
Right.
Especially Israel, because it was created for our sins.
Yeah.
You know?
Then you gotta go first. You got state beaches. You gotta pay.
Right.
You got like Rottweiler Beach, all these different beaches. You gotta pay to get it. You gotta pay to go to the fucking beach.
Right. And they charge you for
You gotta-
You can put that shit in plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
we gotta pay for fruits. Because remember in Genesis, the Lord created all types of diverse fruits and vegetables
Right.
and trees.
Yeah.
The Lord didn't never say put a price on it and sell it.
Right.
That was gonna be there for everybody.
He even told us to don't take it or leave some for the poor.
No. Right, don't glean the whole vine, leave a few for the poor.
Right. Don't be stingy. You know.
Right, but Esau, he'd fucking take all the oranges trees, all the groves, all the droves. He just glean all the grapes and oranges and shit.
And then
and freeze them and shit, have them in a damn department, don't even use it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you don't sell them all, they toss them away.
Right.
Right. And shit.
Right,
You're supposed
and-
to leave something for the poor.
Right, and America's the biggest wasteful country ever. The biggest wasting country ever. It wastes every damn thing, man.
Yeah.
Wastes food, clothes. You know what I'm saying?
What Chris Rock said.
Yes, rosty mama, yes. Sing mama's kiss me on it, candy mama, yes. Candy mama, yes. Rosty mama, yes.
And they throw food away. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people over here are obese. So he said, man, we got so much food, people are allergic to shit. People got lactose intolerance. He said, man, hungry people ain't allergic to shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, right. They say, man, if an obese person go to another third world country, they be like, damn, how you do that? So I need to hang out with you and shit. He said, oh, you think you all that with your fat ass? You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you how spoiled the people over here. You know what I'm saying? Because people over here, they used to going to all these. Just look up and down the street. You got nothing but food, fucking stores. You got all type of shit that these people convenience, man.
You got extra food, they be 24 hours. 24, you got access to food 24/7. You got even food could be brought to your fucking house.
Right, it can be drone to your goddamn house.
I'm paying attention.
That's Babylon food, man.
I got a little statistic. It says, how much food does America waste? In the United States, approximately 103 million tons of food, or 30 to 40% of the entire food supply is wasted annually.
And how come you don't hear this on the news?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's a shortage. It's a shortage and shit.
Right.
You know?
Right. And see, you're not gonna hear this on the news, bro. Okay, here it is, so-called young, so-called black men. Okay, we're bringing this information out to you. You know, we ain't charging you. We ain't out here. It ain't like we out here begging people to listen to us. But we bringing out information that you people out here, you clueless people out here walking around thinking everything's all good.
Right.
This is society that you wake up, break your back for. Okay, you go to these jobs, work all these fucking hours. They throwing all this food away. You got all these people out here homeless. Okay, people sleeping in their damn car, man. Okay, and yet you throwing all this food away, man. Letting all this food go to waste, man.
Yeah, how can you ban 130 million tons of food being wasted?
Right. And that just go to show you that the price gouging is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got so much food that you got to throw it away. You should be giving that shit away, man.
It says this equates to about 219 pounds of waste per person, or roughly 1 pound of food discarded per person each day. The value of this wasted food is estimated at over 444 billion per year.
Wow. Look at that shit, man.
And that's a merciful number.
Yeah.
Esau not merciful though.
Right.
That motherfucker will lock. You gonna throw the food away. I remember working.
Lock the trash can.
Lock the trash can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We had to lock the trash cans. You know, I remember I had an old job back in the day where we had to throw away what they call food expired.
It was like a week or like 2 weeks before they applied.
Right. We had to throw it away. Then the bulldozer come and bring that shit over. You know what I'm saying?
That actually goes into just being in a shelf life. So if it sits on the shelf for a certain amount of time, they throw it away. The food's not bad. It's still good.
Right.
This guy on YouTube that was going through that, he found a whole bag like somewhere in New York. It was just like perfect, like nothing was wrong with it, no mold. It's probably like 3 weeks now.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, like, all this good food was like Panera Bread, Starbucks, all type of shit.
They got one of them in Riverside. It's like a dunghill of food, so-called expired food.
Yeah.
I was a tip at that job at one time.
Yeah, that's where I used to work.
Oh,
I
that's
used to
shit.
work there.
Oh, you seen that? Oh, okay. You know what I'm talking about then.
You pour out the donut mix. They got all this different shit. You gotta pour out, and the shit is not even expired, bro.
I was taking some of that shit.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, that shit is damn near new.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
What the fuck is you doing, E?
Right.
That's why you ain't gonna have shit, man.
Yeah,
You
bro.
gonna have nothing, man, because you a great waster, man.
And it's not even just that. You got people out here You got people that buy food and won't even finish it, man. They'll buy a whole fucking loaf of bread and won't even eat the whole fucking loaf of bread. You know,
Right,
that's how spoiled they are.
Yeah, or they go to the restaurant, they take a couple bites of their food and they'll put it on a plate.
It's wasted. This is a wasteful place.
But this same nation will plant a seed and feed the children in everybody's brain, you know?
Right.
So Hamites, you know?
Right, you at the damn grocery store and shit, they ask you, would you like to donate to?
Right.
Only 2-3% of what they collected after go to the so-called colleges.
Right.
Everybody else pocket that money, line their pocket up.
Especially going to a sex trafficking ring corporation, man.
Exactly.
You know? That shit. I got something. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 1. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right.
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
And are the people rejoicing now? Hell no. You know, like we've been going into over the whole, you know, really the whole year, but recently, recent months, a lot of people are doing vlogs, testimonials, living in their car, you know, and how people are starting to realize, you know, they're in a hamster wheel, man.
Yeah.
You know, motherfuckers just can't get ahead.
Right.
You know, back in the day, people talk about, you know, you remember the good old days back 20, 30 years ago, you was able to save a little money.
Before the people are going back as far as the slap limit.
Right.
Remember back then, you know?
Right.
They reminiscing back then.
Right.
You know, that shit was bad too.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there wasn't nothing normal about that.
Right.
Want to go back to being normal. Shit, what was normal back then?
Right.
You know?
Right.
It was
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got the old school Jake reminiscing, man. I remember when gas was $1.89. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, it's really the equivalent because back then, you know, Jake was making like $6 an hour.
Yeah, I was talking on the day that said make like a part-time job. Back in the day, you were paying for college tuition for a year.
Right.
A part-time job,
Right.
not a full-time job. You were able to work through the summer, or whatever, how many months, and you had enough money to pay for the whole tuition.
Right. Bro, Jake back then, they said back in the 70s, you made $40 a week, you had a good job. In the 70s.
$40
You know, that's back when 10-cent hamburgers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Then you go to the hat.
Right.
The hat was strong place, like the strongy was like a couple dollars. Like what the fuck? Hot dog was like 5 cents.
Right.
I seen that Edomite that had the old Walmart receipt, and then he had his new Walmart receipt with the same purchases. It was like over some $100 of an increase.
Right.
Same exact items.
Yeah, bro. That's right, bro. That's that gradualism of them devaluing the currency, man.
Yep.
And that inflation, that's really stealing too. Stealing from the people, inflating products, stealing people's money too.
Yeah, because not only raising prices, but also giving them less for what they once had.
Right.
Now, one bag of chips back in the 80s ain't the same bag of chips now. It costs more and it's a less amount.
And then with the shrinkflation, you still paying that high ass price. Now the Oreos got like thinner and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Oreos is thinner.
Chick bag got more air.
The chip bag got more air and with less chips in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The damn, you brothers know when you go shopping like, yeah, this shit ain't the same.
It's nine pieces of chip, but they all big as fuck. And half the bag is there and shit.
This is Ecclesiastes 34 and 21. The bread of the needy is their life. He that defrauded them, therefore, is a man of blood.
So, hey, why do you get bread? By working a job.
Yep.
There's no jobs out here.
Yep.
So Esau's actually creating murder. You know, by stopping a person from employing themselves to forward their lives, you're basically a murderer.
Right.
Because the scriptures say a man, when they labor and they get their wages, before they get their wages, like towards the end of the day, they set their heart upon those wages.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they got hope. Like, I'll work for all this.
Yep.
The
Right.
scriptures say the laborer is worthy of his hire.
Yeah.
So they thinking about that bread. So
Right.
here it is, you defrauding them. You got them fall in all these damn job applications.
Yeah.
FICA on your tax. You know, you get taxed.
Tax your credit.
FICA.
Right here.
Yeah, like that. On TikTok, bro, you get Albuquerque getting taxed 35%. And they'll break it down to maybe the first 3 months of the year. You work for fucking free, man.
Right.
And ain't nobody like, fuck this
Nah,
shit.
ain't
Ain't nobody upset. Ain't no upward. First 3 months, from January to fucking March, April, you damn near working for free.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah, bro.
All that goes to the government.
Yeah.
And nobody is saying anything.
Yeah.
Because what? Everybody trusts in oppression.
Right.
Because they don't feel like I'm being, oh, this is the same, it always been like this. No,
Right.
They ain't supposed to be like
it
this.
ain't supposed to be like this.
Right.
Verse 22 in Ecclesiastes 34. He that taketh away his neighbor's living, slayeth him.
Yeah.
And he,
That's akin to killing them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you eat. That's how you able to sustain yourself, man. Okay? Because you know, us out here, we all got a place to stay, roof over our head. Okay? We gotta put food on our plate. You know? You gotta pay for gas, all these things. On this day, hey, the fact that we are here, brothers, is able to hold camp, and film camp, is through wages, man. You know? And like the brother said, you set your heart on that. When you go to work, you expect to be paid.
Right, that's what you want to work for.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid. What do people do when they don't get paid on their job? They walk off that motherfucker, man. They go on strike. You know?
Or somebody end up dead.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Crime. You know what I'm saying? Why you think Jake go out here? Why you think there's a bunch of YNs out here, man?
Yeah. Smash and grab.
Right.
Because they ain't got a job. The resources is low.
Yep.
You know, due to who? Esau Edom.
Yep.
And then you put a record on them, making it more harder for them to get a job.
Right.
Further depriving them of their bread.
Right.
So they ready to go all out now.
That's that snare once again we're going into her. That's that snare that Esau sets up for Jake. You know what I'm saying? They create these, they order up chaos, they create these that chaos, they try to bring that so-called solution, man. You know? That's the MO of this now. Right, bro?
What tribes of Israel?
Ecclesiasticus 34 and 22 again. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder. When one buildeth, another one pulleth down.
Yep.
What profit have they then but labor?
Hey, read that part again. He that defrauded that part.
Yep. Ecclesiasticus 34 and 22. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder.
Right, you taxing them. Right. You're not raising his wages.
Or you firing people for no reason.
Right.
And it comes out that those taxes was used to fund turning a monkey into a homosexual. Like they was doing all types of weird shit with the tax money.
Or further pushing more weapons to Ukraine.
They can turn that wine on everybody, man. That golden cup.
Right.
All right, funnel money for the taxpayers and fund the bullshit on all the earth.
Right.
That the those find out through that agency club.
No, correct.
No, the money that was issued out the agency that was issued out the money to other countries. USA. USA. Yeah, those found out that USA giving out these money to other different countries for Transformers, for the homos, for different research, and all different type of shit.
For the 10 million to Beyonce, 5 million to Megan Thee Stallion.
Why is USA giving that type of money to these people?
Right. Right.
It's taxpayer money that we didn't sign up for, we didn't even have an input for. First of all, we ain't supposed to get tax on income. Alright?
Right.
Back in verse.
Right. That's usury.
Yeah.
Use not usury upon thy neighbor.
Yeah.
But Esau don't practice those laws. He's breaking that law. You're not supposed to give out anything on usury. You get your tax, he's taking down there taking your damn money, all your money.
That's how he came up at the time of the Middle Ages, during the Dark Ages, by Jake, which is calling himself Christian, they didn't believe in you, so they let the Amalekite handle all the pagan stuff, and a lot of stuff. They had like the Medici family, all these different Amalekites come to power by fucking lending money and putting usury on it.
Right. Not too long ago, brother posted a video in the chat. Those small hatters, they don't make it 0% interest.
Some of these even these Moabites too, these Ammonites too, they even get passes on interest.
Yeah.
You know, besides Israel, because these the dogs that lick the swords.
Yeah, profit off our downfall.
Profit off our downfall, man.
Ecclesiastes 34 and 23. When one buildeth and another pulleth down, what profit have they then but labor? When one prayeth and another curseth, whose voice will the Lord hear?
That's right. Yeah. Over here in Babylon, all these, because you had Jakes that had thriving communities, that had thriving neighborhoods, fluent neighborhoods. And what did Esau do? He destroyed them, man.
Yep.
Okay, he sabotaged them, man.
So you're gonna hear the cry of the laborers.
Yep.
And that's why the truth is there, the wicked shall be in the hand of the enemy.
Yep.
If you go to that word, it talks about the laborers.
Yep.
At the end of the day, who are really working here in America? Jake.
Right.
We don't want to work these blue collar jobs that nobody want to work. These agricultural, these busting, these logistic jobs, these warehouse jobs. It's Jake doing these jobs.
The bottom of the chain.
Yeah, we're the laborers.
Right. The hard, the jobs that nobody don't really want to do. That's what Israel is doing. We picking, Northern Kingdom picking fruit. Like, come on, man. You see how they picking that fruit, man? Ain't no other. These heathens can't do that.
Yeah, they doing it with ease and sophisticated, and they doing it in a very efficient way too.
Right, and that's what helps everybody eat.
Yeah.
You know, but that job is not paid like a damn movie star. But you should be paid high for that because that's getting everybody fed. But Esau look at that as a minimum wage. That shouldn't be
below minimum wage.
A low minimum wage job. You know, that's wickedness, man.
Touching back on it, the Pentagon is built on Jake land, and at that time, before they came up with the plans to build the Pentagon, Jake was living over there in the cities. They gave him I think it was like $2,000 for the homeowners, but there were a whole lot of Jake over there that didn't own the home. So they got a certain time to get up out of there, and then when they did it, they burnt down everybody that was up in there, and then put the Pentagon that y'all know today on that said soil.
Hey, the same thing where Elder Barak posted with the LAX.
Yeah.
And so they knocked, and I opened
Jake,
the door, and I was just
same
like,
thing like in Black
and they
Wall
handed
Street
me a
in
pamphlet,
Tulsa,
and they
Oklahoma.
had this-
It was the same thing going on here in LA.
Right.
But what happened? They burnt everything down and put a damn airport over that landmark where you can't even tell what started, where was this at, where was that at.
Right.
Because he just did away with everything.
Right.
You know?
Right. And they got videos of how LA used to look back in the 60s and 50s. A lot of these freeways that's out here didn't exist back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those freeways was built just for that same purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those neighborhoods, a lot of neighborhoods that used to exist don't exist because of the
The freeway came about for people that was in the suburban area, like I was talking about earlier,
Right.
that were working in the city.
Right.
They would meet the transport.
Yeah. That's right.
That's why these freeways look like, yeah, these motherfuckers in the middle of the neighborhood. You gotta, the way you gotta get on the freeway, you gotta hit a block, hit another block, and you like literally pass by somebody's house, get on the freeway type shit.
Cul-de-sac neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Freeway right behind them.
Right.
And a lot of the freeway, they did it strategically to basically divide the Jake into one part and everybody else another part. So you had the 110, all right. They did that by eminent domain. You had the 105 for the airport, out through eminent domain. All right, divide all those different places up.
Yeah. Yeah.
405.
Right.
Got some more? Oh, no, not on that one. It's a different one. Just back to
This is Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right, and it's all to grieve us, man. All these laws, all these things that they serve in the society is is to grieve who? The people on this side, the Israelites, man. Okay? Because all the time, every time they raise the prices, who you think gonna get hit the hardest, man? Right. The people on this side, man. We the poor in this society, you know? And that's the thing with these damn devils, man. They act like all this shit is brand new to you. You know? Right. Jake been here budgeting. Jake been catching him, you know? Jake been rationing out shit in the house. You know?
Pinching.
You know what I'm saying? Like my parents, you know, that's how you used to get your ass whooped. Yeah. You know, like, wait, man, who ate all the damn? You would get your ass whooped, man. You know, because Jake was already rationing shit out in the house. You know what I'm saying? That's because Jake poor. Right. Yep. You know? Eating cereal and
eating all the fruit juice, boxing water on that. Drinking all the fucking fruit juice. Drinking all the Capri Sun. Like, put out for at least a good 2 weeks. And then he's drinking all in one day.
Jay got the grease in the jar and shit.
Yeah, oven chilling.
Throw that motherfucker away, that shit's still good.
Yeah, they show you training. You know, all the purple. Yeah.
Got that big ass box from the church and shit full of food.
Yeah.
Shit. We been, you Edomites, you just getting introduced to food lines and food pantries and all that. Israel, from Judah on down, we've been going through that.
Yeah, man, I remember living out with no electricity for 3 months one summer. That's how we do every fucking line for Friday.
Man.
No, not we didn't have cable.
Yeah.
Well, Friday, literally every fucking day for 3 months.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah, that much VHS. Right. We was popping in watching shit over again, over again.
Wind it back all the way back.
You just have to smack the side of your TV.
Yeah, for the floods to go away.
You gotta put the floor on the hanger.
Yeah.
You know it's good right there, leave right there.
Yeah. Don't walk too hard in the house.
You know, yeah, the cake, I'm picking my cake, don't run up there.
Yeah, you gotta open up the oven door for the whole house to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jake been surviving.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Then Jake had to put the pots when it rained.
Yeah.
Water leaking through the ceiling and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we've been in the lowest state, man. Yeah. You fucking devils, we don't feel bad. We laughing. On some of those videos, the Edomites be bitching and shit. I be laughing my ass off. I said, welcome to being a nigga.
Like, this is what you complain about?
Says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor.
Right. And who's the needy?
Right.
The people on his side, man.
Yep.
Okay? Jake is always complaining about they don't get no justice here. Okay? And Jake never gets justice here, man. We'll never get justice here, man. Okay? Like I said, you know, the bitch that got Emmett Till murdered, she passed away recently, you know, but she was never brought up on charges about lying, but she repented her story.
Yep.
You know,
the cop said, oh, she had 2 kids. We didn't want to bother her. Motherfucker, you don't think when it comes to Jake women, they got kids, huh? Hey, DPS pick them up and put them in foster kids.
Right. Right. And they'll look at it, oh, that was years ago. You know what I'm saying? But these motherfuckers, they don't let Paul Holden go. They always talking about 9/11. Right. Remember 9/11?
Right. Look at this, look at Trump doing, just pardoning all these motherfuckers, man. Just,
right. Right.
Biden pardoning his son, all them. They not in trouble, as the scriptures say, they are not in trouble like others.
Right.
You know, Esau can get away with murder, smoking crack on TV, and they get party.
Right.
My bad, you know.
Right.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, Hunter Biden crackhead son. I mean, Joe Biden's crackhead son.
Right.
Let a Judite or a Benjamite or a Levite or a Simeonite or a Gadite get caught doing some shit that he did. Oh, he's hung.
Yeah.
You ain't seeing him.
Under the jail.
Right.
He's under the jail. But because these Edomites, these so-called white people there in their world, they get off free.
Yeah.
They can get away with anything in a society, man, because they run this world. This is their world.
Yeah.
And we just living in it, passing through it, you know? And it's gonna end. this wickedness is gonna come to an end.
Like the two Edomites that Trump just parted, they was down for
the
some fraud.
Yeah, he watched that little show on
And then you talking about pardoning baby oil guy.
Diddy.
You know, I look at
Diddler.
I'm looking at the fat and the people going on.
Yeah, it's like because they all in cahoots with each other behind the scenes, man.
It's a saying that says there's one big club, you just not in it.
Right, George Carlin, he said that it's a big club and you ain't in it. We not in it. Only club we in is Lord willing the 144,000 club.
That's all we're trying to be part of.
That's all we hope to be a part of in the Lord's house, man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. This is the club. That's the club of salvation, man. Okay? Because, you know, and that's the best club to be a part of.
The VIP section.
Right. That's the truth. That's Jake used to say, the place to be. That's the place to be. You know? That's right.
Where I want to be.
Says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yep, and that's what they do. That's why the family structure is all fucked up. You know? These movies, you know, they even show you in the movies, man, and how they, you know, especially those hood movies, they always show the character come up in a single parent household, or both parents are dead, they grow up with their grandparents. The grandparents, they ain't got enough strength to raise up the child the way they should be. Right. You know? So it's just a bunch of, it's just a cycle of chaos, man. You know? And when you don't have especially when you don't have a father in your life, especially a father that's grounded, you know, that has some sense about himself, you don't be out here fucked up, man. You know? Unless the Lord, you know, this is all about the Lord's elect. You know, this a lot of brothers who come in that situation, you know, not having a two-parent household or whatnot. You know, some brothers who grew up in the foster. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, if you are the Lord's fold, you know, you are the Lord's sheep, you like the prodigal son, you're gonna return.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like different walks of life. All the elect got different walks of life.
Yep.
You know, whether some Achion came in, they have had two parents you know, in the house. And, you know,
brothers that was actually doing something in the world.
Right. You know, I know it's but it's appreciate it.
I know it's not that we're not there yet.
Appreciate it.
You know, and those that do the will of the Lord, they used to be at peace.
You know, get a few lashes.
He still don't get a foot up. You know? But yeah, that's the Lord showing that scripture right there, man. Cause see, we ain't like these buy-ins out here. You know what I'm saying? All we doing coming out here is preaching the scriptures, man. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Back in Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The hardy people of the earth do languish.
Right, now we're seeing the proud, you know, haughty, because that's what the word proud, the proud goes back to haughty. And they starting to languish, man. Everybody's starting to mourn, man. The state of this earth is at an all-time low, man. You know, the vibration, like what it was going into earlier. Remember back in the 90s, shit was lit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you knew all your neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, you used to go out, the street was wide. Everybody's outside and shit. You know what I'm saying? You heard everybody running the house, partying on and shit. You know what I'm saying? You hear your neighbor's speaker on and shit. You know? You know what I mean?
Everybody knew everybody. Even if you went to a public house, they neighbor knew you.
Right.
Right, your garage door used to be open.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave that motherfucker open now.
Right.
Close that garage door.
It felt like a party down there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was lit back then, bro. Now, shit, you know, you see people got their head down. You gotta stay away from these motherfuckers. A lot of these motherfuckers is crazy, man. A lot of these motherfuckers they on some
A lot of people are
rampage shit.
They're imbalanced in the mind.
Yeah,
These people are on all types of narcotic drugs, prescription drugs, all those combinations of prescription drugs. They create a concoction in their brain, it's all, they can snap at any minute.
Right.
They can do anything at any second.
And that's why our brother's been saying lately, you know, it's not wise to go to these places where there's a whole large body of people, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you are out and about, you know, you don't want to be, you know, be somewhere where you're not, you know, in the midst of a large body of people, man. You can see your surroundings, man. So you know the landmarks, man. Where
You at a movie theater, make sure you know where to exercise.
Right, right.
Walk in there, sit down, watch the movie and shit.
Right.
Shit go
I'm
down.
always looking.
Like the beast watching the Final Destination movie.
Right.
The shit fell down.
Right.
I'm always looking because sometimes you got people that getting up. I'm always thinking who's getting up, who's getting down, who's walking in and out.
Right.
You know, can the room.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I always know if we go out to eat, you know I get the seat that face to the door. I'm scamming everybody that's coming in.
Right.
In and out.
Right.
You know your etiquette.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You got to go to the store, okay, that's the etiquette, okay. That's the alarm door, okay.
Right. Not saying that you don't just be like this, but you know, just pay attention. Know your surroundings, man. You know what I'm saying?
Scripture say, as near as thou canst, guess at thy neighbor.
Yeah.
And not just your neighbor, just your surroundings too.
Right.
Guess at everything around you. You know, be circumspect. You know, circumspect, head on the swivel.
Yeah, even
Right.
people you work with.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Hey, it might be an agent or somebody there just work there just to keep an eye on your ass.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I feel like that too.
Right.
I be feeling like that. I know we all feel like that.
Yeah, bro. You gotta watch what you say too. You gotta watch what the words you use around people, man.
You can't have the same conversation for everybody at work.
Right.
You can't be a super Hebrew Israelite at work either, man.
Right.
You know,
Certain things, you know, you gotta keep to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything, because you know, you got people out, you don't know who you're talking to, man. You know, like Brett says, age is out here. And then, you know, when you get angry, you gotta really watch what you have to say. That's why you can say, be seasoned with salt. You know what I'm saying? Because you got like characters such as vocab, all these different individuals out here, they're looking for any little thing that they can weaponize and use against us, you know? Not saying, you know, because ultimately, you know, the scriptures say that Esau gonna come down and have a great wrath anyway. But we don't want to be, the scriptures say, suffer not as a murderer, suffer not as an evil.
giving no ever.
Right.
Yeah,
Be
you
a nigga,
hear
man.
somebody upset you, hear you, somebody reported it, they will camera on, oh, I found out this guy's a Hebrew Israelite. He's in the LA camp. Here you pull up the camp video, there he is, wearing that garment and stuff.
Right.
And then go back to the other video, look at him.
Right.
He's screaming and hollering, having a tantrum.
Right.
Hell nah, man.
Like the brother Eli said, Tawab said that don't be all scared and stuff, because like we had that recent incident with the brother Yahweh in New York. That man that came up to his job, he was acting all right, trying to go to all extents, the supervisor and everything, and it turned out that the Lord, because his ways pleased him, switched it up and fired that damn nigga, man.
Right.
So there's the reason why we have confidence in the Lord at the end of the day,
Right.
throughout the surroundings, throughout going in the buildings, because
Right.
we have the tools that make the Lord be on our side, man.
That's right, bro. Yep, go ahead.
Hey, if the Most High be with you, who could be against you?
That's right, brother. That's right, brother. Go ahead.
2 Peter 3:14, it's the NLT. It says, and so, dear friends, while you are waiting for these things to happen, make every effort to be found living peaceful lives that are pure and blameless in His sight.
That's right, bro. Being blameless. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember, like we was going into earlier, we already got this stigma upon our people. So they, you know, you got demons that come to you and try you just so they can say, see, right. That's a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like I said, we ain't perfect. Hey, we men, we in the flesh, man. We get upset. You know, but this is why the scriptures, that's why these things are written for our learning. So when you think these things do happen, you know, and through experience, you know, through trial and error, you make better decisions.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then you start to realize, oh, this dude's being demon. He's trying to get me on my character. You know what? Hey, bro, you got you just because eventually, when you submit, the Most High sees that already. You pass that.
Yeah, you gotta be a bigger person.
That's that chess move, man.
Yeah, you gotta be a bigger person.
You putting heaping coals upon that sinner's head.
Yeah.
Pull this nigga down.
Yeah, bro.
So they got cold towel.
Hey,
Agree with the adversaries quickly.
Wild start away with him. And much yielding pacifies anger.
Yeah.
All right, bro. All right. What you say? All right. You got it.
Have a good day. You know, I'm going about
All
my
right,
business.
you call me a bitch. All right, you got it.
Killing the country.
Right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Yeah.
All right. You in your mind. You want to do it. You want to get carnal, but that's not the battle we fight.
What he said, my no rope, they put themselves in that chair. I can kick them in the chair. That's what that dude Jay-Z said, because you gotta be calculated.
Yeah.
This truth teaches you gotta be calm and calculated.
Yeah, calm,
You gotta
and
calculate your moves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these people think, oh, he a nigga, so I'm gonna get him out his character. But then when you start thinking 10 steps. It's ultimately the Lord. The Lord gives us that spirit to move. That's being wise. That's using wisdom. That's how our Lord was, man.
That's why scripture said, blessed be the peacemakers. Right? And other scripture say, it will be all possible to be at peace for all men.
Yep, that's right. Yep, and that's what it's all about, man.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. And it reads, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
If I may say, that's why it's beautiful that the Lord has given us apostles and elders as examples, because there are certain things that they would say to us. In particular, what stuck in my mind that the beloved elder Daniela has said was, when you enter into establishment, throw up a palau, throw up a prayer, because you're not sure, especially with the uptick of gun shootings. You know, people shooting shit up, walking into Walmart. I know in the city that I'm in, the Walmart just got shot up not too long ago. But that's why you throw up the palau, because the Lord will have it to where you have a place to escape. You know.
Once again, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 13. And it reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Heavenly Father and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
That's right. That's the point. We're going to wrap it up with that. We said, Lord willing, this was edifying to the sincere brothers and sisters. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Face these and give all glory and praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahushua.
Rakatha Yahushua.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahushua.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahushua.
Rakatha Yahweh.
One for the ball.
One for the ball.